for, us, because we like it, we understand it. But this Ghost of Tsushima, it's almost like they did. It's like a Japanese restaurant in the U.S. With a Japanese guy behind the counter. He knows what he kind of knows what he's doing, but it's made for us.
Gamsley, I will tell you, this is a theme that is forming here, and again, I know people hating on Everborn and Gamsley for not liking this game.
They hate me.
This is my fourth playthrough.
Come at me.
How dare you not like what I like?
Come at me.
Hold on. This is my fourth playthrough. I've purchased it 3 times, both the PS4, PS5 with the Iki Island DLC, which I never played, and now I buy it. I'm playing it here. I love this game, but I too completely understand where you guys are coming from with this, right? And I'll tell you, I was telling Gamsley about this before the show started. What's that?
You know what this is like? When you go to the mall and you have like Caribbean or African food, and
I'm going there. Let me get there. Hold on. Let me get there.
Great. And you like,
let me get there. Hold on, Everborn. I was getting there. Like, I watched Mulan. I don't know if people remember Mulan, the live action version, right? And Mulan, the cartoon with Eddie Murphy and all the ridiculousness, right? And then they finally remade it in live action. And I watched it and I was like, wow, this is super entertaining. It looks like they really, really were thoughtful with it, and this and that and the third. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. And I was like, what did you think of it? And he was like, yeah, this is interesting. It's good. It's good. And I'm like, okay, tell me your real thoughts. He said he's tired of Western creators creating things they think the Eastern audience is, because ultimately what it tells him is they're just creating it for themselves and not to actually represent them. This is what Chinese food tastes like in what they think Chinese food tastes like in America. When you go to China, it's a completely different conversation. This is dumbed down, corners shaved, palatable for mass audience stuff, right? And when he said that to me, I thought about it and I was like, wow, that is like, it is valid smoke that can be levied across a lot of places, including this. Like, I love this game. I will continue to love it, but it is a very, very valid criticism that we have. And we'll actually get even further into that. We're talking about this game. I might as well start talking about Assassin's Creed.
Wait, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Look at this screenshot. Like, look at this play right now. Like,
yes. And do you see the black top and the bottom? Do you see the top and bottom blackness? That is the frame generation stuff. You see that weird blackness? Yes.
See, before you get into this beautiful, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yes.
Just before that, when you're running through the forest and you actually see ground, it looks like fuck. It looks
all the black is me taking screenshots. So if you see anything go black and come back to screenshots.
It is so bad. And I remember it's like a PS3 game that they put like PS5, textures on it. And it's just like when you look closer, you're like, oh my God. It's not like that in Last of Us Part 2. You look at Last of Us Part 2 top to bottom, you can't find much wrong with that game. And then people are like,
people
shouting
hate story. That's different. That's a different thing.
Yeah, but sure, okay, whatever. But you can't put side by side and be like, Ghost of Tsushima is the best Sony game ever, and it's just meh. It's just meh.
But yes,
come at me all you want, but it's meh.
I will say, we're going to have more of this conversation, but I really do think there is something to that conversation about we like this game, and I love this game. I do. I will finish this game. I have finished this game multiple times. I will finish this game. I'll get to the Iki Island DLC. This is a triumph of epic proportions. But again, it's not really the complete picture that the West would have you believe, because those who this is supposed to represent go, yeah, this is daddy's first samurai game, right? They see this as more using them to make Western audiences feel good rather than actually representing them. A lot of people have said that.
Me and Gamsley back on board, right?
Okay,
since it's on
speak
PC
on it.
now. What if somebody creates a mod with lightsabers?
You know they will.
Sorry, yes.
You know they will.
Yes. I'll be right back there. 10 out of 10.
And it works. Let's be clear.
Look right now look at the ground right now when you're I miss it.
Stop the
hating. Goes back to the grass.
Stop the hating. let's be clear here. We're not saying the game is trash. I'm not saying the game is trash. They really did take a lot of feedback from what do you call it? Consultants that really help make this game shine, and the Japanese audiences themselves like really appreciate it. It's just not as complex as you guys keep referencing Shogun. Yes, it's an unfair comparison. Absolutely. Right? It's an unfair comparison, but it's not as complex as it seems.
You know what? What I don't. I'm sorry, Kay. You know what I don't appreciate? The two biggest haters in the chat when they mad at something and they don't like slow mo.
All they do,
Mr. Lucius Augustus,
cannot
handle when somebody don't like something they like.
Yes, true. But we ain't even going to
let them not like something, and you will never hear the end of it.
You know why he respects it, because he's hater number one most of the time. That's neither here nor there. We're gonna keep it moving. But yes, like I would still say, Everborn, continue playing this game. The game gets the complexity in combat gets there. The story gets more interesting. I wouldn't say it's like a triumph. Don't compare it to Shogun, right? But the game gets more as a game. It gets more fun. I think they strike a better balance than AC has, Assassin's Creed has historically with this genre, right? We'll see what Shadows does. We'll talk about Shadows next. But I think you should continue playing the game. I think there are some interesting aspects to the game itself. But you know what? Because we're threading this needle, let's talk about Shadows. Okay, I want to talk about Shadows because that has been a lightning rod of both conversation and, is this great? Is this that? This is the third. I think I will make my statement because I tend to not jump into the waters in this way, but this one led me to jump into the waters a little bit, and I did a little bit of reading, I did a little bit of watching. I'll reference some of my source material, and then we'll open it up for discussion here. Right. So those who know that Assassin's Creed Shadows was shown off in a big way. I'm a big Assassin's Creed guy. I've played all of them, like especially the later ones that people don't really like that much. I've played all of them. Origins, Odyssey, even to a certain extent Valhalla, which after like 40, 50 hours, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna finish this game. It got too repetitive and too boring for me. But I had put in 200 hours in Odyssey, and before that 150 hours in Origins. Like, I am that guy. I'm in the bag. They had me, right? So it was just Valhalla that couldn't keep me, but still these are the games that I tend to gravitate towards. That's actually probably a big reason why I like this so much. This is Assassin's Creed style, but in feudal Japan, which I was looking for some time as well. So it kind of all worked for me. So Shadows has been announced, and what happens? Everyone is losing the thread. What are they losing the thread on? Because they have released a game, or they're showing off a game that potentially has an African protagonist in a Japanese game, in a game that finally should represent the Japanese audience, because you know there haven't been any games that represent Japanese audiences. How dare you, right? Like, man, we finally get a game that's for us, and you put a black man in it. That's been the narrative I have heard on these here internets as of late.
Well, just let me add to that. I don't think I heard that from one Japanese person. I've only heard it from non-Japanese people that are.
Yes, we're going to speak on that. Absolutely. But again,
that's just anecdotal.
Yes, absolutely. So, and so that we're clear, I will put all the various source materials that I've been pulling from in the show notes when this show posts. I have a bunch of really interesting things that I've been reading. Right. So before we get to what we want and what we like and all of this, right? Let's establish some facts. Right. Yasuke. Yes, Yasuke. Don't at me there, Lucius. It's Yasuke. He did exist. There's factual evidence of him existing. He was a samurai. That is 90% true. That part. Why? Because although there is some dissenting in the historical record, his accolades, his stipend that he got, all this other stuff that has been documented for him were of the same type as samurai. So, like, by and large, you can say he was a samurai. Right, and there is no solid evidence of, okay, here's him in his samurai outfit, but all those who drink deep of this information, all those who've spent a lot of time, delving in all this, all agree that is basically what the case is. It's funny you say, Everborn, that people, the thread that people are pulling and the Japanese folks, how they feel versus their biggest problem is actually the female protagonist, not Yasuke. Why? Because if you want to be historically accurate, the father that she's based off of, that man, I forget his name right now. I won't butcher it. He is of historical relevance, but he never had a daughter. So this is a wholly created character. That's one. Second, ninjas don't exist, people. It's been perpetuated in the West for a long time. Ninjas, as you know it, striking from the shadows, ninja stars, all that. They don't exist. It's wholly created by the West. Now, it's been perpetuated also by the East because even Square Enix and Capcom and all them continue to make games in that ilk. But as a factual historical reference point, they don't exist. They never did.
Wait a minute. But do Shinobi exist?
In certain variations, but not like this. This is a faking. One last point.
Okay, go ahead.
One last point. The final point there. Even if they did exist, if Shinobi existed in this time period with a character that did not exist because the man it's based off of did not have a daughter, guess what? If he did exist, there wouldn't be a girl in that place because there are documented historical evidence of female fighters within this time period. This would not be that. So if you read and watch any of that stuff, right, and I will put it in the show notes. Their big problem is if you want to claim historical accuracy, get rid of her. She should be a he.
That's a straw man argument.
I know it's a straw man argument, but the whole thing is a straw man argument because let's be clear, it's why is there a black man on my screen? I'm tired of seeing black men. That's literally what the conversation is here, and they're using historical evidence as a straw man argument to get there. But yes, Gamsley, you were going to say something.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, really, really quick. I just want to bring up something that I saw in a Japanese samurai museum or something. It might be propaganda, not propaganda. I don't know. But I was in Japan, and guys, ninjas and shinobis were basically just messengers. With farming tools.
Yes.
That's all they were. They were
the Westernification of it makes it sexier than they were. Yes.
Yeah, they were spies and therefore considered dishonorable. But they were just spies, dudes. They were the regular farmer in the back there, just listening to some tea, and then they would tell the people that's it. And defend themselves. They had sometimes those little their gardening tools, which is what we see as their weapons, and they would fucking fend off people if they needed to. But that's that's all it was. There's no
idea. The sexy idea of ninjas don't exist. They never did.
Yeah,
it's cool for shows, cool for movies, but that idea, that the thing you think of when you think of it's different. Yes, continue.
Yeah, one more point. They had to be not recognized, right? They couldn't, or else they couldn't get close to the target. So they were just regular people. They were just regular people that blended in the background, and that's it. They didn't go around stabbing people in the back of the throat and murdering people. No, they didn't do that. I'm sorry, guys, but just saying, and that's from them, not me. Them. So. Anyways.
Yes, absolutely. So all the conversation I've heard about it, right? All the conversation that I've heard from because I don't have a full understanding of the time period. I had to read, I had to understand. People, their number one criticism potentially of this is the Ubisoft games, Assassin's Creed games tend to be one note, tend to be paper thin character development. Things like that is where. Go ahead.
I do worry about that, although. Again, Ubisoft has made my favorite game this year so far, being Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia,
so, and I hear Mirage is a back to basics kind of thing, and it kind of stripped out all the stuff I didn't like about Valhalla, because I was very excited for Valhalla when it came out in 2020, and then I played it. I was like, this is the most generic thing baby that I've ever played. And it just, the sort of vomiting up checkpoints on a map and just go here, go
which
there.
Which is that Assassin's Creed formula. Yes, indeed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Indeed, yes.
but I hear Mirage got rid of that, but I haven't played Mirage. Mm-hmm. But they say that this is taking more cues from Mirage than it is Valhalla. So
did they?
I've heard people say that.
Well, this is also made by the
Ubisoft.
team.
This is what I heard.
This is made by the team that made Odyssey. So if you know Odyssey and you know its playing style, this is literally seemingly more Odyssey than it is anything else. Which, personally, I put like almost 200 some odd hours into Odyssey. I loved Odyssey. So
that's a good thing.
I'm probably gonna wait and see on this one, just to make sure it's not like another. I've never played Odyssey, but if it's anything like Valhalla, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah, Valhalla went too far. Well, Valhalla lost the thread. It became very repetitive. It was about keeping you there and giving microtransactions and all of this. I'm hoping that has updated a bit. I enjoyed them keeping you there in Odyssey. It was a fun, sprawling story. So hopefully that is good. I too, and I see you there, Palpatine. I too think Origins was the best. I'm Team Bayek all day, every day. I enjoyed the hell out of that game, but I feel like people are trying to use historical cultural references to say that dog whistle thing, which is, why are we putting a black man in this game? Which is hilarious to me, Yes. Real quick, I see Lucius. Thank you, sir, with a $10 super chat. Always prolific, sir. He says Yasuke was a real person who was a real samurai. Who are you going to believe? Some white guy in Idaho, in Ohio, or descendants of a samurai who fought with Yasuke in battle? No Japanese person is mad. There you go. And what got me excited is if you check the historical record,
I believe Japan hates Xbox. That's who I believe.
Yes. And the funny thing, real quick, about that, Japan hates Xbox. Japan loves Yasuke, because of this. I will give credit where it's due.
In case people are not following on, because we do have some casuals that watch this show.
Yes,
I'm talking about the user Japan hates Xbox, which is
I know
a white guy from Ohio. But
okay. I know. Yeah. So since this game has been being promoted, they put a lot of effort into historians, specifically Japanese-focused historians, and they prop this character up as a talking point, as a showcase. They love the fact that this character is getting as much effort and respect as it's getting, right? So clearly, even within their ranks where they would feel like, hey, it shouldn't be that way, they themselves are speaking very positively in this light. Gamsley, sir, I don't know how much of this you've seen or how much of the marketing beats have hit your ears. What do you think of this game?
Yeah. So first off, I don't have any knowledge to speak on it in depth. In terms of all the noise going around with race and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna really touch on that point. What I will say is that don't be so quick to jump on boats to defend something you don't understand. Yeah. We don't understand the Japanese side, and we don't understand, but if we're white dudes from Idaho, don't understand the black side as well. Let people have their day in the sun. This is a fictional, a fictional setting. Oh, well, not a fictional setting, but it is a game. Yes. It is a game world with one black man in a Japanese environment. It's okay. If they want to tell this man's story in a different way, in a time and a game that is based on time travel and getting relics, maybe you should just let them, let's see what the story is and how it plays out, and then we can actually see the outrage from the people affected by it.
I'm going to stop you right there, Gamsley. That's not how the timeline works. They don't wait to watch or play things. They just say,
I don't like it, Everborn. I don't. And, sometimes you get caught up in it. I've gotten caught up in it, and I've been taught really quickly. that it, maybe I shouldn't be saying certain things. So don't open your mouth and scream from the rooftop because you read a sentence or you see likes on YouTube on freaking Japanese websites and you're like, they're bombing the likes and dislike ratio. They don't like this. It's like, guys, you don't understand nothing. And you don't understand how far racism goes in all places, whether it's Japan or the US or whatever. So if you don't understand that, just back off and look at it, see it play out, understand it, research it. And let's see the game come out and people play it, and let's see what's harsh about it, because Ghost of Tsushima, that everybody loves, by the way, people were fighting about that as well. So not all battles need to be fought ferociously. Let's see what's happening. So that being said,
I like that. He said, "Bro said Japan like a Street Fighter. Not Japan."
Jab him. It's so funny. It's so anyway. But yeah, the game itself for me, I find very fascinating and intriguing. I like I said, there's not many games that really hit that big score, right? In this environment, in this setting, and in this time period. So I'm ready for Ubisoft that usually is very good with putting stuff together in interesting ways, story-wise and historically. I'm really interested in what they do here, and I want to run around as a samurai and I want to assassinate some things. Yeah, why not? Give me it, and I'm gonna. This is actually the last big Assassin's Creed I got in is Black Flag. So Black Flag, I truly did enjoy because I just love the setting. I love the pirate theme. I'm weird like that. I just like the pirate theme. I like that whole environment. So it really did hook me. Valhalla was just too big for me. Too much checklists, too much things in my face. I couldn't stand it. And this one, I think, is bringing me back in. And even if it's as big, I think just the setting enough is... and the combat. Like, I like Ubisoft combat sometimes. Valhalla was very good, well-executed combat in some scenarios. So, I don't know if you guys agree, but I quite enjoy Valhalla combat.
A lot of people
agree, visceral, right? And it was visceral. It was fluid. I liked it. So, I'm ready to do that in a samurai setting. So I'm hyped. So
Everborn Saga, sir, it's interesting. Where you were talking. I would actually ask people, and I'll put this stuff in the show notes. I found 2 articles about this that I thought was really, really poignant and very interesting. This one from IGN, shout out to IGN, by Matt Kim, and I found another one by Gita Jackson over at Aftermath, and both of them spoke to different sides of the house. Black American speaking to the thoughts of this situation, and a Korean American speaking to the thoughts. And I actually thought Matt Kim's one was super interesting. And I will attempt to TLDR it, but I encourage everyone to go read it. And his statements and his thoughts on this whole situation is, stop talking about representation in this. We have a million games that represent the Asian American experience, but it's kind of typecast, right? Every time you see an Asian American, an Asian protagonist, he has to have a samurai sword in his hand, or he has to be in feudal Japan. Like it's like back in the day where every time you saw a black movie actor, he was from the hood and he had to speak with a certain accent, right? And like every time you see a Muslim brother represented, he's the one on the plane about to drop bombs or something like that. They are getting typecast by this specific style, both in movies and in games. And every time you hear a Japanese, you hear any Asian representation, it has to be with this framework. Everborn Saga, very interesting. Matt Kim specifically calls out the game that you had called out and uses it in broad terms and appreciates it. He says the game that gets overlooked, that he thought in his estimation was well represented and really gave him hope, was Ghostwire Tokyo, a game that had an Asian protagonist that didn't hold a samurai sword, was a normal dude in a normal world. He calls out Yakuza and a few other things as well. But in his estimation, that was Asian representation moving forward. A leading man who wasn't always that stereotypical thing, right? And of course, you called it out because that seemed to be the nail in Tango's coffin that people seem to overlook. Everborn, I don't know how much of this you've been paying attention to. What are your thoughts of the game, the announcement itself, and all the smoke that has come with it?
So as I was saying before, like I with Ubisoft, I usually wait till the games come out and then let a few people that I know play it and see if they can sell me on it. And so as the game itself, I'm not sold yet. One, because we really haven't seen the gameplay. So I'm not like supporting it just because whatever reason, right? And then the next thing is the argument, like you knew the arguments that you were going to see. I could have wrote the tweets that we would see and the discourse that we would see around this just from hearing the announcement. And then it plays out exactly the same way every time. And that's how you know the situation itself doesn't matter. What we're dealing with is sort of rage click brokers, right? And they are just going to do this. It doesn't matter what, right? And so these people will find a thing to be mad at, get other people who are like mad at life and just give them a direction to point into, right? I see what you did, Slow-Mo. I was actually hoping for a Ghostwire too.
Freaking Slow-Mo, man. Always
what they should do
has to be the slanderous contingent over here.
Tango? They should send the people who did the Ghostwire handwork and send them over to Obsidian to help with Avowed to do the magic. Think about it.
Oh, that would be crazy.
I'm just gonna skip over the handwork. All right, continue.
Yes. See
Pause.
what I'm talking about?
I don't even have hands. How do you feel now?
Oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! That's not cool, bro. Now I'm offended for you by you. What's going on?
I'm offended that I have no hand gestures representing me. All right.
But
all right. Okay. All right.
We're off the rails.
Clearly. Go ahead.
But so just them announcing a game taking place in feudal Japan, sure, that's great. I need to see gameplay before I say I'm excited for the game or not.
Real quick,
the discourse...
I need to say it because it is true. The Black Viking needs his royalty, sir. He needs his royalty. Do you not see him on the screen? The Black Viking needs his royalties.
They're
taking his likeness. This is unappreciated. Get a man his money. Anyway. Continue.
Well, Mr. K. Asante, did you get paid for being in the Halo show yet?
Shut your mouth. Keep it moving.
Okay. All right, Mr. Keys. So, and the discourse at this point to me around this is boring because again, we've seen this playbook too many times, right? And so I'm really, because like, again, I don't think these people actually care who's in there. What they care about is riling miserable people up and giving them a direction to point their anger at, right? Yep. So I haven't actually even jumped into arguing with people about this on the timeline because it doesn't make sense, and people are just going to do the same thing over and over again, and I'm just not even giving them the oxygen to point out how stupid they are.
Actually, you know what, Everborn? I would say the reason for Yasuke being part of this game is more thanks to games like Ghost of Tsushima. They want to stand out in the crowd. If you make another protagonist in this world that's standard, normal fare, you just kind of blend because it looks like Ghost has already eaten your lunch. Right. Now, if all of a sudden you reference a different character, hey, you now stand out in the crowd. It seems to me that Ghost being first seems to be the reason why they're trying to stand out of it.
Isn't that textbook tokenism, though?
No, but hold on. But I want to see, honestly, like, I don't know about you, but as all this like talk has been happening, I don't want people to get scared by going into something interesting like this. I find it interesting. Yeah. I find this character, I don't know the history of this guy, whether it's historically accurate or not. Tell me a story where a black man can be in a Japanese setting with all that political stuff going on. Let me see that, because it teaches people and it is interesting. You know, it's just like war stuff. Like if you make a game in the Middle East or whatever represented properly, let's say, I find that extremely interesting. Maybe dangerous financially because nobody wants to touch that stuff, but I freaking want to see more boldness everywhere. To me, I think this is interesting, and I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why people are so opposed to different ideas like this. I have no idea why.
And what Lucius is saying there is also very accurate. You could call it what you will. This actually happened. Right now, how far they go from historical evidence to storytelling, that we shall see. But this is interesting because it actually happened. Right?
You know what else is interesting? The element that they added with the character they created, and just the idea. Okay, here's some slander, right? Again, you have to judge what I'm saying about Ghost of Tsushima by the fact that I've only played it for 1 hour. So
and you're judging it by Shogun, one of the greatest samurai shows ever.
This is just how I feel at this moment, and you guys know that I can very easily come around and change my mind and say it's the greatest game ever. Like,
clip it, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
I did it with Elden Ring. I did it with a bunch of games where I hate it and then I love it. So you're just getting stream of consciousness, and I don't apologize for how I feel at this moment, because I'd be lying if I'd said anything else. That being said, from the hour that I've played of Ghost of Tsushima and little 15 minutes setting that I've seen of Shadows, Shadows looks more interesting than what I'm playing right now, because
I had the same
idea
feeling.
What do you want me to say? That's just how I feel. It could be wrong, right? I've been wrong before.
Which if you think about it, should be the case, right? They established that Ghost has been around for a long time. The reason why Ghost was propelled as much as it was because people were waiting for Assassin's Creed to go there for a long time. It didn't, and then Ghost kind of fulfilled that need for them. So if you were Ubisoft, you'd sit down, take what's there, and go, okay, how can we one up them? So everything you see from Shadows should be a one-upmanship of Ghost of Tsushima.
I reserve the right to change my mind on Ghost of Tsushima after I have played it more. And I'm not. I don't plan on putting it down right now. So I am gonna play some more. But the thing that I would say, what was interesting to me about this, aside from the Yasuke character, is this idea of having the shinobi and the samurai and the politics between them, and the idea that, hey, do you want to just go in through the front door samurai style, or do you want to go stealth ninja style? And if they play that
I thought I was going to thread it. I was about to say pause. I had a pause waiting for him, but no, continue. Sorry.
If you, I know what you were thinking I was going to say. Get your mind out of the gutter. But the if they play the politics of those two characters right, and what they can learn from each other, and especially if they start out as kind of like frenemies, there's ways to play this to make it really interesting. And if they do that, and the gameplay is good, I think they've got a winner on their hands, and it's super fertile ground for interesting character play, like almost like a buddy cop story. You know, a shinobi and a samurai walk into a bar, right?
Bro, they did.
So they did. Yes, it could be very interesting. So I am keeping my eye on it, although I am not gonna. I'm not gonna dive into waters until I see some more gameplay from it, at least.
I feel everything you're saying. I agree with, by the way. I feel like they've done this before with Odyssey, right? Odyssey is one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever made, right? Apparently to most people. They've created a world and two characters that people absolutely love. And the female character.
Well, I will say in Odyssey, they didn't really want you to play the male character. He was pretty much a tool.
Right.
You ended up playing Cassandra, and you were just done with it.
But Cassandra was fantastic, and that in itself was very very big, moment.
Yes, and I have Greek friends and Greek people that I work with who like exalt that game for getting some of their parlance into the zeitgeist.
Right.
Even though also they say it's dumbed down, it's still, hey, at least you guys now know what we say when we say Malaka, right? They are happy to have that in the zeitgeist and in the world.
We know that this team has a ton of expertise and have success behind them. I have some faith in this, bro. It's not like, let's wait and see what happens with these characters. Like Everborn said, just having this guy in the front line and having her as a ninja and all that stuff. I mean, it's a very interesting
framing device.
Yes, very interesting collab, and I'm so intrigued by it. And I feel sad that this controversy is surrounding it instead of that topic. But I don't know.
It'll most likely propel it to some sales. They like that smoke. Smoke gets people talking. We'll see how it turns out as far as the implementation.
Let me ask you a question. What it reminded me of? Another game that is not out yet, but what they're trying to do. Well, what I'm thinking 1942 will be the Captain America Black Panther game. So I imagine in that scenario, I would imagine like Captain America, like the go through the front door guy. And then I'd imagine Black Panther, the stealth, very fast character. We'll see, how both of those games end up. B, you want to go? You want to go do the super chats? I think we got 2 of them.
Let's do some super chats. Yes, thank you so much. We have Michael Mooney. Thank you for being here. £5 super chat. He says, "How can anyone not like a Black Samurai game? But what if the Assassins and the Templar have a third faction?" Yeah, I don't mind them switching it up. I don't. The issue isn't even the framing devices with which they get the gameplay going. I just what seems to rub some of us the wrong way is the idea that you have to like we see what not you specifically, Michael, but we see what people are doing out there, leaning on historical evidence to just say I don't like Black people. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like tell us the words out loud without using the fake historical reference points. But if that's not what you're here for, I'm good with it. Change it all up. What do they talk about in Assassin's Creed? The golden apples and all this stuff. They add historical nuggets and then they add so much interesting, fantastical frameworks around it. I am there for all of it. What got me excited is this man was a West African born import, whether through slavery or whatever, and that's all historical evidence. And I didn't know too much about it until this brought it into my zeitgeist. And I think it's super interesting. As a man who's of West African descent myself, it was super exciting to me. Now, how they thread the needle in the storytelling and how it all, hey, that remains to be seen, right? And if it sucks, we'll call it out. But I think all is fair. All is allowed, to give us more interesting things in our gaming sphere that we love so much. Thank you so much for the support and the super chat. I agree with you. And then the great Gaming Forte, $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, "Hello, gents. I need your recommendations. What games should I look to purchase to put on this 4090 through its paces?" He already has Cyberpunk 2077. He's got Control and a few others. He was up till 4 a.m. playing Battlefield 2042. Okay. So go ahead, everyone. What were we saying?
I need to know, Forte, where is this PC hooked up? Because I want to know if you are a part of the CEG movement, the console experience gamer movement. I'm just trying to understand what side of
the
this
man is
thing you
playing
are on.
his PC. Stop the
He
BS.
has jumped to the 4090. You're a wise man, sir. So I'm just trying to figure this out.
Give him some recommendations.
But recommend. You know what's funny? Well, firstly, Hellblade on Tuesday. You don't got to play it.
I hear that game is something else to behold. Yes.
And then I don't know, like, because most of what I play are like indie games, so that I can go back and forth between the Steam Deck and whatnot.
Yes.
So I haven't played a lot of high end games, but if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, maybe I'd recommend that. Although I'm not.
I wouldn't recommend it. No. I will tell you. It does not use. There you go. Alan Wake 2.
Wait a minute. Is Alan Wake on Steam yet?
Oh,
I'm just
asking. There he goes.
Is it on Steam?
He goes. Probably not. It's probably.
It's on Epic. No.
Yeah, he's a launcher.
He's a hater.
It has to be in Steam or nowhere.
So J Mo Money asked me how Ghost is on the deck yet. I've only tried it on the big boy PC so far. I'm gonna try it on the OLED.
I hear it's not bad. It's not bad. I hear it's
right, but you can only play the single player mode in it. The online doesn't work.
Yeah, it does not work
for the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Which, by the way, most people that have not played the online stuff, it is like quietly one of the better online modes in these kind of games. People should play more of it. I hear it's really, really good. Even I haven't put my time in it. I will, but I hear it's really, really good. Like Gamsley was saying, my recommendations would be Alan Wake 2, right? I would also recommend, and now this is him specifically talking about putting his 4090 through its paces. So it's more about getting bleeding pixels on your screen versus great gameplay, right? So this is what I'm talking about. You're talking about putting it through its paces. He already has the right one there with Cyberpunk, which is both great gameplay wise and visually. Control is another one, right? Alan Wake 2 definitely. I would also say now on Game Pass, Immortals of Avium. Give that a shot. That is a beautiful looking game. Yeah, it's derivative. Eventually, it turns into just a shooter. But graphically, oh boy, that game is amazing looking, and it will melt your 4090. And then the final one I would say is also Avatar. Also, not the greatest of games from a gameplay perspective, but from a put your 4090 through its paces perspective. Oh yeah, you will be like, damn, that's amazing. Oh, and final one.
I got
Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, one of the better looking games you have ever seen. One of the best looking. Gameplay is up in the air. You know, people like it, people don't. I like it, but from a graphics perspective, holy crap, your 4090 will shine.
I got one for you that I thought was really good on the Series X that I need to finish, and I can only imagine how it'll look on PC. The Quarry.
Yeah,
that looks like real life sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. You're right. And Gaming Forte comes back with another $5 super chat, and he says he's playing on his 300 and 440 by 1600 3K monitor, 144 hertz.
He's not CEG. He's not CEG.
No. He's better than that. He's better than that.
He's on your side of things. You guys go ahead and have your little tea and trumpet.
He's playing it properly like it should be played, and not like I need a fake console.
Wait a second.
No.
Hold on. Does Everborn play on the TV?
Yeah,
play on TV on PC.
I got the 4090 connected to the OLED where the PS5 used to be connected. And I use the only thing installed on there is Steam. I run it in big picture mode. And I add my Game Pass games with an app called UWP Hook. But the entire thing is operated with the controller. Maybe less than 5% of the time I have to pick up the
I love that. I love his face. He's just like
replacing my console.
So you're not even using a mouse for shooters?
Not at all. But I don't really.
Right. So, anyways, that's it for the Gamsley Circle podcast. I'll see you guys later, baby.
You see, look. I, for one, think he can game any way he chooses. He can use a controller. He can use a mouse. No smoke there. But to try and go, it's the console experience. Get out of here with that garbage. It's a PC.
It is, and it will continue to be.
It's a console. No, it's not.
You said it.
PC. It is a PC that you're using a front end for. Get it done. It is a PC. Stop the gaslighting. No one wants to hear the ridiculous.
No, you PC weirdos don't want to hear it. Oh my god, my frames per second. I gotta use a mouse. I gotta have a ultra wide. I got to
PC
listen.
Weirdos. He says
nobody wants to deal with all of that.
$4,000 PC in his bedroom. Okay. All right.
You know what might help you with that if you like the controller thing, we have a topic on a controller coming up later that might help you with
like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Controller PC thing.
He has set me up with a beautiful, beautiful conversation. And I swear to God, we didn't plan this. We've been talking in the background, me and Gamsley, for some time now. And then the week he says he'll come on, Microsoft announces the Proteus controller, a gamepad for gamers with disabilities. And of course, we have one of the great gamers with disabilities to talk about it. So Gamsley, sir, you saw this.
Yes,
I will tell you, and I said this to him before, I will tell you what excites me about this controller is the idea that it looks like just a damn cool controller that you would use for a weird use case. Like it reminds me back in the day when mice came.
It looks like really something that Nintendo would make,
right?
Like
yes,
like the controller for the Switch 2.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And you can make it flat. You can make it a joystick, right? And obviously, it is meant for folks with disabilities to be able to give them their ability to play. But I would want to try this to have a very interesting use case. This might be cool for shooters. This gives me the what do you call it? The Legion Go vibes, where you take the controllers off the sides and you put it down, and you're able to do it on the table. What are your thoughts, sir? I know you have a kind of disability. Not every controller works for you. How does this approach? You saw this.
Okay, so everybody knows that. Well, hopefully everybody knows here that I do have a Xbox Series podcast with Game On Asa and Deadly Headley. We do that every week. I'm an Xbox guy, exactly for the specifically for the controllers. It's always been controllers. It's not because I hate Sony games and I hate them. No, I just could never get used to the sticks. So I have two fingers on each hand, just for context. I have two fingers on each hand. And one of my hands, on my right hand, I have an elbow that could bend. And on the left, I have no elbow. It's just a curve. And it's locked there. I can't move it. So I use a claw grip where, my left hand. Actually, I have a controller. Can I just grab a controller?
Please do your thing, man. Do your thing. I appreciate it. I swear we did not plan this. It just kind of happened that way, and it's pretty awesome that we can have somebody who can speak to it firsthand. I didn't mean that as a pun. I swear I did.
That was a good one. So, see, I'm gonna use my custom Fallout controller, right? That I put the yellow on the thumbsticks, if you like that.
Which the Everborn Saga also has. Yes.
Nice. So, see, when I'm holding a controller, my left hand, one finger is on the top where I could control and have full range of the joystick, and then I could focus on my other finger on the triggers, right?
Yeah.
On the right hand, I do a claw grip. So my right palm is on the joystick for max reach and max attention for the control. And then I grip the bumper and the trigger. And then I lay this, and I lay this on my lap, and I've adapted to it. And this is where I became like an Xbox fan, because it just felt good to me. It's the only controller that feels good to me in any sort of way. This is the first time I made a post about a controller like this, because I appreciate it. Because for me, for most disabilities that are already nuanced, it's so hard to tackle disabilities in any sort of way, in any way, whether it's clothes or freaking forks and knives or a light switch on the wall. Not everything is perfect for us. We all adapt because we have to. It's like something that we have to do. We don't really have a choice. And for me, for my small specific problems, the other controllers were just not convenient enough. For instance, the PlayStation controller, very good for a specific set of people. Like, it's very adaptable. It's you could do a whole bunch of stuff. I would say more wheelchair kind of disabilities have use that a little bit more often. But it becomes a convenience issue after. It's too big. I can't pop it in my bag, when I go out very easily. The form factor is not for me, right? It just, small stuff gets in the way for me to actually use it. Even if when I use it, it's great. It's just, I'm not going to bring that everywhere, and it's more convenient just to pop this in my bag, right? And just, you know, stay with my claw grip and my lap or whatever, right? Same thing for the Xbox controller. See, the Xbox one, the adaptive controller, is an excellent controller in every way. They give you so much access to plug in peripherals that you don't think would matter. Like, I use a pedal for a piano, right? That use a AUX cable to plug it into the back. And then I could use that pedal, that piano pedal, as a bumper to shoot for shooters. Because that's my problem with shooters, is that I'm not very precise. I have to actually, for a split second, that's why I can't be competitive in them, lift my claw grip off the shoulder buttons to aim with the right one with accuracy, and then press. But that's a fraction of a second that usually makes up, you know, a good play or a bad play, or an aiming problem. So having that pedal, right, and then holding a normal controller to aim and move is usually the nuance that I need to like get stuff done in shooting games. So this I will use, but then it becomes, oh my God, I got to do the Apple adapter thing where I got to have a bunch of adapters in my bag and bring the controller with me if I want to go to a friend's house. It comes down to, again, convenience and I don't, and setup and all that stuff for such a small problem for me that I adapted to. For me, a small problem that, you know, it seems simple, but nobody gets the nuances correct. So there's another controller that came out, I forgot the name, that it's a skeleton, right, of a normal gamepad, but there's a little square that you could pop in and out of the skeleton and replace the layout. So I could put the right thumbstick up and then the buttons down, right, on the bottom side of the controller. That's cool, but the skeleton itself is the problem at that point. And then it's just like, well, that's not perfect either. I rather just use an Xbox controller, you know, it's good enough. So everything was just that in life, right? Oh, just good enough. It's always been good enough. It passes. But this, man, this is just, for those of you that are listening and can't see, these are individual cubes, okay? They're little cubes. You could use one if you want, and it has 6 sides, right? You could literally on the screen make it a joystick if you want. You could stack 4 cubes on top of each other with a half cube and have a curve on it, and then put the buttons wherever the heck you want them to be. So for instance, if I have a skeleton like a normal gamepad, I can't put a button on the side of the controller, right? I can't do that. But in this, you can have a button on the side where my palm could rest and have more control over the buttons that I want to press. So if I want to configure it that way, I can. So it's just so refreshing to see something that is so customizable and remappable and convenient at the same time. I could pop this in my bag, no problem. I could put it in a form of an actual controller. Asante is pulling up right now.
There you go.
Actually, exactly. See how he puts it on the side, the bumper a little bit on the side, and then he has a little, like, I can do whatever I want with this thing. And it stays convenient, practical, easy to carry, easy to place in my bag. It's
not a whole backpack full of accessories just to get you what you need.
Exactly. And it's not big itself, right? You can make it a controller shape. Like there's grips that you could stick onto the side to make it an actual gamepad also. That's what I love about it. It's exceptional. It gets the nuances right. You could put a trigger on a face button if you want.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very interesting, as well as remappable. Every single button is remappable to get whatever you want to get there for even more customization. So pretty awesome.
The only thing I will add to this is for the 338 people watching, salute to you guys. If you happen to know anybody in the environment that's possibly ready to test this thing, reach out to Gamsley, man. Let the man test the controller for you. I would love to see these initiatives, right? And then you let somebody test it, and they'll give you their real world thoughts on it. Maybe help make it better. This is how everyone's able to get in there, because I like anytime these things come up, I'm super, super happy to see that PlayStation's taking the initiative. They're doing it. Xbox's initial controller, they were taking initiative. But then you speak to the people who use them on a daily, and they'll tell you, yeah, that's great, but I don't have a huge backpack to carry all the accessories needed in order to make this thing work, right? So the more refined, the more they use it, the more they let people get that real world experience. Now you have a device that can kind of give you what you need without all the extra added weight and ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about that price point for a little bit. I think it's $300, right?
I was gonna get to that. And one more thing, like I said, on the top, for my specific issues where I am not like I'm very lucky that my movement is not so impaired that I can have these smaller issues and complaints. But the fact that these small issues and complaints do hinder me in some sort of way, and this project exists eliminating that, makes me happy, and it gets people in the game happier. Just like a light switch being a little bit farther down the wall than up is very welcome in my life, and it makes everything easier, so I don't have to adapt as harshly to these environments, because sometimes it's a little bit, it feels like neglect in most areas, and this feels like finally my specific small issues are not neglected, and I feel happy about it. Now, price point, here's where it gets a little rough. I did want to praise it before I gave it a shot with the price. I want to praise it because it needs to be shown, and I want to have it in my hands, and I'm going to buy it regardless. And I understand the research involved and the people involved and what's necessary to get these things off the ground. So I don't speak too harshly on the price and all that. It is expensive though, and I will call that out. It's $300 US. So for me to buy this, I'm gonna have to spend upwards of $450, Canadian dollars. That's a console. So it's a little bit much, and it's a little bit much. So I'm going to call that out. It's not a giant complaint. I'm not going to boycott you or anything, but if you're listening, there has to be a way to down the cost a little bit, because as you also know, you're building this stuff for people that are probably on a paycheck that isn't very sufficient. They probably maybe can't work all the time. They probably have maybe part-time jobs, and they have issues. They can't really get the money flowing as well. So just to put that out there, people that you're aiming for might not be able to buy it. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, brother, I think this is excellent. And I agree with you that, that it needs to be praised, because it looks like they're spending the R&D, they're spending the time and the effort to get there. And hopefully, as more and more people are in this environment and this stuff happens, the price can come down. I see this as for my Tesla users out there, I see this as the Model S to the Model 3, right? The more the big dogs play, then it can kind of come down, and the cost of manufacturing can come down a bit, and then it becomes more and more approachable and palatable for general audiences. I want to see this be used by normal, like by abled gamers, right? This looks like a controller that you could use to do some very super interesting things, even if you do have all your functions capable of it. People love customizing their control schemes. Exactly. Everborn Saga, I don't know if this caught your attention.
I'm sorry. One last thing. By the way, there's an important thing here. So there are little cubes that magnetically, you could like swap out accessories magnetically, right? Very easy, snappy, cool, right? One important thing is that they're shooting out the initiative to have everything that they like. They're trying to partner with 3D printed stuff. That's massive. Like you could 3D print, legs that you could put on the table. Yeah, right. So they're throwing that out there too, which that is very impressive and very cool. Because you can make your own very big. You could, yeah, exactly. You can make maybe like a attachment where you could put a little, I don't know, connector on it, and then you could make a button that you could clip to your side of your head, so you could like with people with limited mobility, like touch it and make it like an Xbox controller thing. that's also important to shout out. So I just wanted to shout that out.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that part is the biggest part, right? If you can't afford the big honking device with all the buttons and the pieces and everything, hopefully we're talking about a community that grows, lets you 3D print your own pieces to add to this thing. That is an awesome plan. That's really cool. Everborn Saga, sir, as I was saying, has this caught your attention? What do you think of it? I think it's awesome.
I think it's amazing. I can't afford it at $299, but I get that the work. Who makes this thing?
BioWave, and they partnered with Microsoft.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, and it will be available on PC and on the Xbox. Hopefully there's a PlayStation variant coming. Because them console mains want that
lock it down exclusive, baby. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
No, over here, our disabled gamers can play. What about you? No, it's terrible. It's very terrible. I'm sorry.
No. I think the price is the most prohibitive thing, right? And you have to assume like the people that need it. I'm not saying like I know it took a lot to go in this. There's a lot in R&D, and if they want to be a company that can like pay their people and do the manufacturing and distribution and things like that, these things have to cost money. But I just wish there was a way that they could get the price down. But again, super interesting. And if it was the price of an Elite controller, I would buy one. But it needs to get there. I think it's prohibitively expensive.
Yep, it needs to get there. I agree. But once again, salute to them, flowers to them. I would once again advocate, if you know or you are around that space, please reach out to Gamsley. I want to see more of our gamers who could be able to get this really, really put it through its paces and make you and give you some critical feedback. Right, more of that. And I would love to see you review this thing. That'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, so one day I will. For sure.
Yeah, I hope we see that.
Just giving the man homework to do.
Damn. Hey man,
nah, it's not homework. It's easy work, bro. It's all good. Right. It's playing games.
Now, listen. Let me make sure I get this right. A super chat from Mo De La Garza. I hope I got that right. $5 super chat. He says gamers that are 30 plus years old and there are traditional ways of doing business are less and less relevant in the gaming industry. Sir, I appreciate you, sir, and I completely agree. I say we are the graybeards, we are the horseshoe makers, and the Jetsons just showed up. And that's literally the same thing that you just said there. I agree with you. They don't care about us as much as they used to.
Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. You had your time.
You had your time. Exactly. 100%. That's what this is. Indeed. So salute to you and thank you for the super chat. I think,
and then he snapped Zod's neck, which people kind of got pissed off at.
Which forgets about. Yeah. I think more and more people should get used to that idea that we are not necessarily the target audience, but hey, it is what it is. I'll do a couple quick shots here and there of some stories I thought was interesting. I'll get y'all quick takes, and then we'll get to some of the real conversations. Starfield updates out. People are talking about it. They've given you, for those who want the console experience gamers, those out there trying to lie about PCs
like that.
I don't know if I appreciate that tone, but
yeah. Those out there, they're giving you more features than you ever get on a console. There are 30 frames, 40 frames, VRR capabilities, 120 frames. They're really, really, really like throwing it at you. Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, did you crack this? Did you turn on your Series X and play this again, or have you moved on?
Why would I turn on the Series X with the 4090?
Have you even tried some of these updates, sir? Because it's not just
absolutely not, and I won't try it till Shattered Space comes out in the fall.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'm purposely doing that because when I go back for Shattered Space, I want the most jarring experience possible. Like I want to be like, wow, this is a new game. In the same way that I went back to Cyberpunk 2077.
Sure.
Just like, wow.
So that means since you played through it, that initial wave, you haven't played it again. Is that right, Everborn?
That is correct.
So that means even the lighting updates that they've done, you haven't seen.
I have not seen them.
Then you are in for an update, because just the lighting updates they've done alone, specifically on the console experience, is quite good.
See, he did it again. He did it again. This is what these
AKA PC.
Do. This is what they do. They
they
think they're better than us.
Label me a PC person while you PCMR in the bedroom. It's all good. Yeah, you can PCMR in the bedroom all you want, sir. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Gamsley, sir, how about you? I know you've been putting some time into this game. Has this update gotten you to try any of the games just yet?
Yeah, so last time I played it, I completed my second run. So, like you said in the green room, that it's baby steps. I got a lot more to go. So I'm like Everborn, though. I want to go back to it when there's a huge update that I could kind of get engrossed in again and wowed again. Because in that game, there's a lot of really brilliant wow moments, and I want that again when I open the game. So I'll do that. I'll play through it again and again when Shattered Space comes out. I did, though, hop in for a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you could raise the inventory space to like 700.
Yep.
Like just by an option. And I freaking...
They heard you now, right? They heard you.
I love that.
I am definitely doing that.
Yeah, so you could not only 150, like people said, it's like, oh, just double it. They're like, no, we're gonna give you like freaking 500 more on the start, or 350.
So you encumbrance complainers, y'all can
fact. Starfield was the only RPG in history to get dinged for encumbrance.
Yeah, it was. Well, they do. Okay, so Bethesda struggles and always kind of struggled with the inventory management type of thing for a very, very, very long time in all of their games. Like, for instance, I went back to Fallout 3 when all the hype came out, and Fallout 4 as well. And then I went into 76, and it's always... I wasn't ever one of those people to judge the inventory space. I do like and think that you do need to go back, if they want to have a mechanic like that, you do need to get the player back to your home base if you implement a thing like that, to like scavenge and an incentive to go back and slow their progress just a little bit so we don't bite into it and over level ourselves so quickly. But I understand the reason it's there, but I felt it a lot. Like, it's just a little bit too much at some points. It's like I feel it in Breath of the Wild, okay, or any other game like that. You're running around, it wants you to explore, and then they give you, like, you find all these things you want to pick up, you pick them up, and then you're like, shit, I'm over encumbered, but your weapons break. Surprise. Your weapons break, so you're like, okay, I guess I could easily just look at this for 3 seconds, shoot out this weapon. I know I'm going to get another weapon. It's all good. It doesn't really stop you in the same way. But in Fallout, the cluttering feeling that you get always stops you at a certain point. It's always like, I want to pick this up. I want to pick this up. But what do I shoot out? Do I shoot out this? And then you're like 10 minutes standing there, and it breaks the experience. So them just increasing it a little bit throughout their games would help them so much, I find. And I get it's a mechanic, and I get that you could upgrade your inventory as you go. I get all that. But
you disagree
the maximum needs to be hired a little bit. As an option as well, like they did here, is perfect. Yes.
So what do you think? What do you think of this hot take of mine? I always think that in Bethesda games, and Bethesda are amazing at what they do, I think they come out with the worst inventory management system and then wait for the mods to fix it, and then they officialize it. Like, because like Starfield has the best modding system for inventory management, and it seems like they've incorporated a bunch of. They went, okay, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good, official. Yeah. And they don't even bother. They just wait until the community fixes it, and then they bring it in. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but we know that Bethesda. They said in an interview, right? Todd said, like, sometimes like they see a problem, but it's it actually adds a flair to the thing.
Yep.
So they choose to just skip it and
leave
go to
it
something
there.
that's game breaking, to kind of fix because their worlds are so intricate and huge that they rather do that. So that's the most of it. Like, I think they do think that the inventory system is a little bit, not the greatest, but they're just it's good enough, it's good enough. People kind of like it. People are enjoying it this way, and we'll do this small thing for it. But the option, guys, I'm swear to God, Everborn and Quesante, the option to put it up to 700, I just stay in the mission. I stay in the mission way longer, and I find myself I'm just like, yeah, hell yeah. Pick up.
So you're a hoarder, is what you're saying. Digital hoarder. I guess
I am a hoarder. Well,
I'm a digital hoarder.
Okay.
Yes.
I never was, but once you gave me once they gave you that option, I noticed it a lot more, and how much it stopped me from actually keeping my momentum in what I was doing. Like, how much it stopped me. And I kind of enjoyed it. I'm spoiled. It doesn't have to be 700, by the way. That's massive. Oh, by the way, you do take an experience hit, which is weird.
Oh, wow.
You have to. So you have to
penalize you just
lower
a little
your
bit.
experience.
Yeah.
They penalize you with experience gain, and they up it to 700. And then there's another option to do it even more, and they up the experience.
Wow. Okay.
Track the experience as well.
Okay.
That's how they do it. Yeah. So that's what I noticed, and I think that's incredible. So for the people that are hoarders out there, you'll
get dinged for it, but you can be a hoarder. I get it. Cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll move on from this one, and I have another update that I want to talk about. I just will say that I think no. No, absolutely. I appreciate the conversation. I just will say that I hope that as they continue to add more meat to the bones here, and Shattered Space comes out, and I think we can all agree that Shattered Space is when the game will properly get another hit of players jumping in.
Yeah.
I hope that all the negativity and all the this underbelly that kind of somewhat ruined the perception of the game, people give it another chance, because I won't go deep into it, because I know that spoilers or whatever. This game has such interesting systems that kind of got most people didn't even see. A lot of people haven't even gotten a chance to taste a little bit of it. I was telling you this before. I'm talking to people. How many days you have in the game? Well, I have 20 days. Oh, I have this. I have that. I have 6 days. Oh, that means you just begun the game, right? And how many times have you beaten the game? Oh, just once or twice. No. You've just touched the tip. Pause. You know what I mean? Like there's so much in this game that all that outside conversation seems to have ruined and pushed people away, that while they're adding more to the game and Shattered Space is coming back and all of this, it will give people another chance at readdressing it, at seeing it again with new eyes, and maybe valuing it for what attention and interest and uniqueness and ingenuity that has been put into the game.
That won't happen until they put it on PlayStation.
I messy.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, but nobody cares about console players anyway, so it doesn't matter. PC baby,
right? Console experience gamer, right? Mr. Console experience gamer. Yeah.
Everborn, I just do it at
CEG.
Whatever,
Gambit.
bro. Whatever, bro. Anyway, and you're gonna get me started talking about the X-Men. I'm not talking about X-Men, but because you said this, I warn you, people, all 362 of you who are on who are watching on either Twitter or YouTube. First off, thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you can. The next time you hear me talk about X-Men 97, it will be full spoilers, because I need to get it off my chest. It won't be now. Man. Oh. It won't be now. But next time you hear me utter the words X-Men 97, there'll be nothing but spoilers flying out the mouth. So go watch the show. Finish it. You need to finish it. Let's move forward.
Incredible show.
Another update that I want to talk about.
You're going to spoil X-Men, and they're going to blame me for it. I'm just calling.
Of course they are, because that's what it is. He is the Everborn spoiler saga. Anyway, another update, which I know, cautionary tale. People don't want to hear it. Oh my God, Redfall is trash. I get it. But this is a move that I want to throw flowers. I want this to become the norm and not a rarity. Whenever, for one reason or another, whatever the reason may be, that a developer or a publishing house steps away from a game, add the update. let it be offline playable, so that one day when a minority within a minority says, I loved Redfall, they can continue playing it without some server that no longer is on being the reason why they can no longer play their game. And with the last update Redfall's making, they're making it offline playable. So if you are one of those few who really love this game, even in its form and whatever, that's all water under the bridge, you get to own the game, continue to play the game in perpetuity, because you are not beholden to some dumb server somewhere being shut off. Gamsley, sir, your thoughts?
Yeah. First off, good. I mean, that's awesome. But what I will say is, like, why all of a sudden? I know it's not black and white. It's very nuanced. Like, some studios just can't really, they have to kill the entire thing. But that just goes to show, like, all this online only thing is a must, and it has to be done, and it's all BS, man. It's all BS. And why it's just like the thing where you come out, you stab yourself in the foot by saying Starfield can only be 30 FPS, and you're like, okay. And then it's like 60 FPS the next day. I was like, just say that you didn't have time, bro. Just say you didn't have freaking time. Just say it was a PS5 game. It was a PlayStation game that was badly ported to the console you now are first party of. I hate it.
Fix it soon enough,
I hate it, but but good news overall. It's just very baffling that games everywhere can't just do this.
It kind of tells you that always online is just because they always want to take your money. Right?
They always want to take your money, and they always want to see what you're doing. Data's important, man. That's all about data.
There's no upside because they know they're not going to monetize the game anymore. Sure, it can be offline, but it is not. 9 times out of 10, it's not a technical reason.
And it's funny because I'm telling you guys in chat right now, like, these companies are just like our cell phones and our Android and Apple and all this. That they want our data. Period. They want our data to show to shareholders. They want our data to show stats. They want to read our behaviors. That's what they want to do. So when a company
why do you say
says that,
177 people can't play specific PlayStation games on Steam? Because they can't get you to log in. And instead of fixing that problem, we'll just remove you because your money is not as important as your data.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, so that's all I gotta say about that.
So with this, and Everborn, please let me know what your thoughts are on this. I say the reason why I'm throwing flowers at this thing, call Redfall what you will. It's all righteous. We've seen what it has brought about. Yeah, Arcane Austin is now no more because of it. All good. All righteous criticisms to give. But we need to live in a world where any game, unless it's a literal game that lives, you're just a client that lives on the server, like a la Fortnite or something. And even in that instance, I give you smoke because guess what? You could make it ad hoc. You could. It's not all processed online. Yes, there's online components, but you could literally make it so that whenever you set it up, the one client can try and communicate with another client without it being server backed. This should be the norm. When it's time, when we're cutting bait, when we're moving on, you own all your stuff. You own whatever stupid microtransactions you purchase that you love. Even if it's a game that not everyone loves, I get that. Allow for the offline mode, disconnect it from the home server, let people play. I say do this for games, do this for consoles. I hear 360 is giving you a deal, a sale. They're doing a sale on old 360 games. Eventually, they're going to turn those 360 servers off. Stop requiring that those servers still be connected in order for the console to speak. Cut its ties. Let it live and continue to for those who enjoy it to enjoy it. Right? This is a good move, and it should be happening across the board. And we as gamers should be advocating for it. Everborn Saga, sir, what are your thoughts?
But did they add cutscenes though?
Oh, here he goes with the slander.
All right,
cut his mic.
No cut. I told you want me to come back to that game. Give me some form of cutscenes, and it's
not about the game. So it's about the advocating for the consumers who still like this game.
Yeah, all 6 of them. Okay,
look, Boomstick is one of them. Everborn Saga, Mr. Boomstick.
Yeah, and there's 5 left.
Yeah, and there's 5 left. Quesante, that's 2. 3 left.
I'll be honest with you. I did not give this game the credit, the attention it deserved. When I found out,
it didn't
right?
deserve it. Stop.
Like, I love Arcane and Arcane Austin specifically, but I love them for their single player like simulation aspect. When I saw that they had like taken that aback more for the multiplayer side, you had lost me already. Right, and you guys heard me say it on the show. If they come out,
they lost themselves also.
Fully be played. True. If this game can't fully be played as a single player and without feeling like you lost something, you lost me. Right? And I started playing this as a single player. It's missing something, so I was done with it. But again, whether it's this game or another game, every game that is server connected needs to have an option to we don't supporting you anymore. Cut its ties, let it live by itself. So those who have invested in it, the 2 people in the world who still go, hey, Redfall Game of the Year, can still play their game. So shout out and salute to Microsoft/Xbox for allowing this to continue. And people can pause their games now. Oh, look at that. What an amazing concept. So we'll move quickly along from there. And then a few little interesting nuggets. And then I want to talk about this article that really, really like galvanized me and had me thinking, and we'll do this. Have y'all heard that Lego and PlayStation are working on a Horizon game? Now, when I heard this, I was like,
this was fake, and I thought it was like a doll-y kind of AI image that they made.
Yeah.
Bro,
but you know what though?
Sleep to Legos.
I see what you did there. But you know what though? I was giving it short shrift until I've played the Fortnite variant of the Legos. Like there's a Lego Fortnite thing, right? And of course there's the Forza DLC that does it with Legos. When done right, Lego games are quite good. They're quite really good. I just think it's interesting. What do you think, Gansley?
Yeah, if I could start on this one. GameIndustry.biz, I think, has a article on Fortnite and Lego teaming up and how and why Lego sees their future in Fortnite. And they say some really cool stuff like the Lego building game and having all those IPs strengths in there, like they don't have to go after certain IPs to
the
get
metaverse,
the skins available, and the metaverse being there and having like Star Wars and all that stuff Lego-fied and without much to do on their end. It's incredible. I think that's awesome. This has been a little baffling to me. This Horizon is getting juiced so hard, and I'm not sure why. This game franchise, yes, it's promising. It had a good, it had a good moment in the sun, but what the hell? Who greenlit? Like, it's Hulst. It has to be Hulst. That guy's gonna kill this franchise. It's like, why are you making online Horizon? You have another Horizon game on, you got 2 coming, then now you're doing Lego. Like, guys, stop trying to push. This isn't that
are you
big.
Saying
it's not that big?
I'm
guys,
trying to make Fetch a thing.
Yo, stop trying to make this thing a thing, bro.
What was that PS3 game? What was that PS3 game that the engineer that made PlayStation 4, his game, what's the name of that game again? I forget. There was 2 of them. Oh my god, the name escapes me now. It was a platform game that nobody really liked, but there were 2 of them.
Oh my god, I don't know.
I'm sure the chat will correct me. There was a game.
Kazooie. No, I'm kidding.
No.
That's for the Banjo Kazooie lovers out there. I hope you get pissed.
Knack. That's what it was. Knack. Right?
Yeah.
Is Horizon the Knack of the PS4, PS5 generation? A game that you will play and you will love because our engineer insisted that we make it and you will love it. Right? Even though people don't necessarily love it, you're still getting another one and another one. And
right? Like, they're shoving it. It's almost like they have this obsession over it, but I don't understand why. They have a VR one, they have a this or that or this. I'm like, what the hell?
What you did? Paris Lily is now pissed at you for that banjo.
No. Wait a minute. Paris, you don't get to do that, sir. You just came in here only for the Sonic slander, and now when your baby banjo gets made fun of, now you got issues.
Sorry, Paris, if I knew you were in chat, I would have went harder on it.
He's still here. Speak your truth, Gamesley.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Nobody cares about Banjo. Nobody, zero people. You know what? When the next Banjo comes out from freaking Toys for Bob, 3 people will pick it up. That's you and like you.
And same 3 people that still play Redfall. Listen, the thing is that
Stanley Buffington making a point. Hold on. Stanley Buffington making a point. The first 2 Horizon games sold over 30 million copies. Again, do your research. Let me be clear here, Stanley Buffington. I am the one-man band. I am Jon Snow against the Horde because I have 300 hours into both of those games. I love the Horizon series. I'm even playing it on PC. Most people call it Horizon Zero Sleep. I will take that. Yeah. I still play it. I love that game. But continue.
Well, hold on.
Only Mr. Joanna Dark calls it that.
There's okay. Horizon. That wasn't a shot.
I did.
That wasn't a shot at. It wasn't a shot at the game. The games are good. It's just my puzzlement is why is it getting that much? Like you're gonna hurt it. You know, it was special. It was special in its own way. You don't want to suffocate it. You know,
you think they're oversaturating it?
Let it breathe. Yeah, it's almost already oversaturated, and it's been like 4 years. I mean, like they remastered it. They're giving us a second one in such succession that is baffling and good on them. And then they're making a Lego game and then a VR game, and then it's like, whoa, this is
maybe not even because it's because they keep putting it against the master that is.
Oh Zelda. Yeah, they have to.
It's lunch eaten every time, right? So they're like, maybe this time it'll work. Is there a new Zelda game coming out?
Mess with Nintendo. They'll put out a Lego Zelda game.
Oh my god! Imagine it's like Lego. I don't know. Horizon drops and then Elden Ring Lego drops.
And again, on this panel, I am the Horizon fan. I've played through them all. I am loving that game. I think it's great. Yeah. But yes, it seems like this has become the knack of the generation that by and large, most people, unlike me, don't really like. They say the story is one note. They say a lot of things. And then they come at me with the slander because I'm a fan of the games, right? But for some reason, we still keep getting more. But yes, because this channel and this show knows no bounds in its slander, we continue the slander train rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paris Lily.
Oh no. Hey, I'm here for it. You said you had more. Let's bring it. Let's hear it.
Oh boy,
I'm ready to fight. Let's go.
Listen, Paris, since you just came here, I hate to be the one to inform you of this. But you know how we all thought Toys for Bob's next game with the deal they got with Microsoft was going to be Banjo. Turns out their website has a cryptic image of some iconography from none other than Crash Bandicoot. So you're not getting that Banjo game.
No. Hold on. Let's back up.
I just want you to stew on that.
I never thought that Toys for Bob was going to do Banjo. It's not going to be them. It's going to be a studio that isn't even on our radar right now. That is probably already working on a new Banjo.
Like Banjo, right? Off the radar.
Don't forget what the CEO of Microsoft Gaming said last year. Banjo fans, parentheses Paris, we hear you. They're working on it.
He also technically did say. He also heard us when it came to the family plan, but
hey, that's a whole other can of worms.
If we want to go down that road, sir.
They also said, you know, that Hi-Fi Rush was amazing.
Oh God! Oh no! Don't go down that.
See, today, Paris, I got backup. You're not gonna come in here with your Sonic nonsense.
I don't hear him defending Sonic. I didn't hear that.
Oh boy!
Who's Sonic? Okay. What?
Well, like I said, Sonic is the Kmart Blue Light Special bootleg version of Super Mario Bros. Always has been, always will be.
All right, We'll see when that Sonic and Shadow movie comes out. But okay.
Look,
hold on. That's hold on. Wait a second, Paris. I love you, man. Look, if that is to Mario, but like if Sonic is that to Mario, but what is Banjo then to literally anything? Because then it like tried to fight and just got instantly slaughtered by all the other good platformers around.
These are the moments where I need a skull cap. Just a skull cap right now. Just a skull cap. Oh boy. Right.
Hey, for Xbox, they need to get it. For Xbox, they need to get it up to the JCPenney version of Mario or something because they ain't got anything. That's the whole point.
So you admitting it, JCPenney, right? It's just like.
Oh, look, being serious. I'm being serious for a second. Banjo obviously is not on the level of Mario or Sonic, but what I've been saying.
That's all we needed, Paris, right there.
There we go.
Of course, that's all you want to hear. But
cut his mic. He's done.
My point is, I have been saying for years, Microsoft, Xbox does not have a family-friendly IP mascot. Banjo is sitting right there. If you give it to a studio and you treat it with care, you can raise it up to be an IP that they can have on magazine covers and just, marketing and everywhere that's more family friendly. And they've just not done that. They obviously had Super Lucky Tales they had outsourced out. That didn't work. Ori, it was never going to be that. Ironically enough, Hi-Fi Rush could have been. But we're not going to see anything else from that. So, I don't know.
A quick question. If you had to pick between Banjo and Spyro, which one do you take?
Well, I'm biased. I would pick Banjo. But
so
I'm
you
biased.
Would pick Banjo or Spyro? But do you... But because I think I'm going Spyro like all the way, and that's why Banjo is inferior.
Isn't the obvious answer here though Crash?
Yeah, Crash. Well,
but we're also talking before I was talking way before they ever acquired Activision, and even then, I don't think Crash is anything that you're going to put on the level 2. Again, you're talking a mascot to represent Xbox. Crash has such a legacy before Xbox that it would never work.
Why I'm fighting so much for like the Spyro to take that mantle or that?
But it's the same argument. I would give you the same argument that I just did about Spyro. It has too much of a pre-Xbox legacy to be that. No.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because you're right. Because I was thinking like if you're gonna make a mascot and resurrect a mascot era, you'd probably take the one that's associated with like Skylanders at the point of like how huge that was, right? And Spyro was the face of that. Like it's a well-known, like to most people, it's a bigger name than the other two.
But to Paris' point, it's well known, but not well known to your brand, right? So it does make sense.
Yeah.
So
that's why
Halo is so big, right?
To be serious for 1 second, right?
Of course, which is hard for us.
We had this conversation last week, so I'm not trying to go into that. But when we talk about things that they don't have, that they say they need, that we know they need, like a family-friendly mascot, they also said they needed, and we agreed that they needed, more Japanese games. And how did Hi-Fi Rush go? No. So I just don't know that they have the appetite for that right now. And Paris, I am a platformer guy. That's my favorite genre of game. So I'm right there with you. I just hope that they still think that is important, specifically those platformers that they don't really have in mascots and things like
I'm going to bring something up really quick. They have these IPs now. Their IPs are like, these are theirs now. I'm excited, and I hope one day to kind of, because we know that a lot of people are on mobile and like 200 million or something crazy play Minecraft, or is that not true? I think around 180 million play Minecraft. Man, don't you get to the kids and all these people by putting like a Banjo or Minecraft collab, a Spyro collab, all that stuff? It's exciting to kind of see that, or what,
Gambly, though? Quietly, they are doing that. Like they are quite my kids play Minecraft. They are huge Minecraft players. In Minecraft, they have the full game of Star Wars. In Minecraft, they have a full game of Sonic. My son plays a Sonic Minecraft. Not just a skin. It's not just a skin. It's a whole game inside Minecraft. He's spinning. They changed the mechanics to make it like
isn't that awesome?
That game. It's really cool.
Yeah, they could do that with Spyro and
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, where they're all separate ninjas, and and obviously the gameplay. They make everything Minecraft like, but a lot of kids are quietly like consuming a lot of our crazy, interesting IPs that we know as a separate thing inside Minecraft. They've quietly been doling that out to people. So yes, they are doing that. They're just not as forward facing and as marketing of it as say a Fortnite does. You know what I mean? They're kind of doing the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a question for Paris actually. Paris, do you Banjo's in Smash, right?
Yeah, he is, or they are.
Okay, so how many people do you think play Banjo?
Oh, boy.
I have no idea. To be honest with you, I get you're saying that tongue in cheek, but the fact that Banjo is even in a Smash game, the fact that Nintendo would want that character in a Smash game speaks volumes to that character. Yeah, so regardless of how many people are playing.
You know what though, Paris? I would give it a little bit of smoke with that. That happened. Everybody was super excited. Where's the 1-2 punch of putting him in Smash and then giving us a remake / remaster?
So let me take you back in time when all that was happening, that E3 leading up to that. I was convinced. I'm sitting in the crowd in the showcase. They're about to announce a Banjo game. We're like you said, we're at least getting a remaster of the original something, and then nothing. It just, ironically enough, kind of goes to where we are right now with the Fallout series being that so popular, and basically the only thing that you had ready to go was something in another game in Fortnite, and not have at least
missing the window.
Right, at least a Fallout 3 remaster or New Vegas 2, or at least an announcement that, hey, we're working on the next Fallout, which could still happen at the showcase. We'll see. But strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. And
yeah. It's just unfortunate. Like that Smash announcement was palpable. We were convinced, oh man, they're at least going to give you a remake, remaster. They're going to take one of the first one, throw Unreal Engine 5 in there, throw it in Unreal Engine 5, give us a new studio possibly, just like they did with what the heck you call it, the frogs. I'm forgetting the name of the damn game now, which was a small, interesting project, but didn't go. Battletoads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Give us something of that ilk, or something that sparks the imagination that then gets you to a better game later. It came, it went, they did nothing with it. It's just like, come on, guys. That was such a
do you think these games fall under the category of small, quote unquote, as Matt Booty said in that like town hall meeting? Do you think that this is a possibility that this title can come in as a smaller title and really reinforce that mindset?
Yeah.
Do you think this is like a budget for a small game or a bigger?
You would think so, right? Kind of like they did with Delilah, right? I was talking about the Battletoads game was a small title. Now it didn't hit the heights that most people were hoping for. I suspect it did well as I hear it, but it wasn't like a Smash like throwaway runaway success a la TMNT Shredder's Revenge or whatever. But that's definitely considered a small game. I would expect, and it's actually interesting to me, and I want to hear your opinions on this, Paris and Everborn. It's interesting to me that after they did that with Delilah, it seems to have gone silent. I would expect there'd be a lot more effort in that realm. Try little small games here and there, because while money is not easy to come by with these publishers, at least small budgeted things, you think they would be able to iterate quickly to lots of different publishers. What are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Paris.
I think that was the mindset previously, but just the current climate, the economy, money, to your point, money's tight, tightening wallets. Again, we're seeing everything that's going in the industry. I don't need to repeat it, but those type of games, the Pentiments of the world, those are going to be few far in between to come by right now. They're going to bet on things that can generate revenue and have less risk. That's just the short-term mindset of the industry right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't. Everborn Saga, I have a specific question for you, and you can answer.
Okay.
If they gave you a budget, what would the budget be, and when would you be able to turn around this small game, sir, Mister? I'm working on a game.
Okay. What is the budget, and what game am I talking
What
about?
IP?
Yeah. Well, before I get to that though, Paris, I know the sentiment where you're coming from, and I know Kay agrees with you, but I'm gonna push back because it's no fun without a pushback, right? I don't know if that does anyway. But
he's analyzing whether they deserve to pause. Continue, sir. Continue.
Yes. But I don't know that I necessarily agree yet that there is a complete shift in strategy because that action happened. That is evidence of that. But for me, I need to see more of that happening, right? So I'll say that to say, okay, Tango is closed. They had an award-winning smaller game, not like indie level like Pentiment even, but like AA or high AA, 2.5A, right? But I think there's a lot of factors that go into whatever like stupid business decisions, stupid from us, from the consumer perspective. I don't know if that necessarily means that that's all inclusive of their whole mindset now. And maybe it is. It's just that let's see what happens with Double Fine. Let's see what happens with Ninja Theory. Let's see what happens with. I think In Exile is making a fairly big game, but Compulsion and things like that. We have to see what's happening there before we say sort of writ large. Yeah, we're done with the Pentiments and the hi-fi rushes. Yeah, that's me being pragmatic / optimist.
And also, before Paris goes, there's, I really thought it was evident that they wanted those prestigious, let's say, quote unquote, small, and what we consider, we don't know all the information on what happened, like exactly what happened to Tango and what the cuts were there. Like hi-fi was quite expensive apparently, and it was quite long to develop. So I don't know if that qualifies as, super small. But yeah, I was talking more about Pentiment, like Everborn was saying. I'm talking about a small team on a small project to put in between the big things, kind of like Netflix fodder, if you will. And I think that's what Matt Booty kind of backed up in his little speech there. That was really weird. But they want that prestigious kind of side food, right? I think that bolsters a service pretty well, and I don't think they're backing away from that either. But we're about to find out.
Yeah, and one other thing I would just add to that, I agree with what you're saying. The other thing I would add to that is, I want to believe, we'll see if I am correct, right? We'll see if history proves me correct. But I want to believe that the 2018 studios, which are not under a separate sort of holding group, a separate publisher in itself that has its own P&Ls, right? Like Activision can open a studio while Bethesda has to close some because they both have different budgets. I know it all falls under one large umbrella, but they do have different costing structures for each entity. And I would like to think that the 2018 studios, these are the Playgrounds, the Compulsions, the Ninja Theories, things like that, that we know that those were acquired with Game Pass in mind. And I'm going to assume that they were budgeted as such. So I'm going to assume, I could be completely wrong, and I reserve that right to be wrong, but I'm going to assume that those studios, which again are not operating under their own publisher, they're operating directly under Xbox and XGS, that their budgets were set knowing that the games would be in Game Pass and they would be losing some sales there, and that's why Hellblade 2 is not a 40-hour game, but it's a really high quality 8 to 10 hour game. That's why Compulsion's game South of Midnight, I don't think that's going to be a big sprawling semi-open world 100-hour
push back to the pushback though.
Yes.
Push back to the pushback, and then I'm done. Push back to the pushback to that is that Activision Blizzard was not even a thought in there. Right back then.
At that time, yes.
Yeah. That's why the budget might have switched somewhere. But that's all I'm going to push back with the pushback, and then I'll let Paris speak on it.
Mr. Lilly, what are your thoughts?
I mean, my only real thing to add to it, I guess, to just give additional context, when Matt Booty's talking about the smaller games, prestigious and all that, he's also talking quicker development times. But I think the missing context out of all of this is less risk. So again, let's just take Josh Schroyer as an example over at Obsidian. Maybe he doesn't get the green light right now to go chase a passion project of a game that.
Hey, now we will leave Josh Schroyer's name out of our mouths.
He's just a good example.
He has not blocked me yet.
You know what? I'm not blocked anymore, so somebody got to him. I don't know.
Good.
It's still blocked.
Yeah. It's still blocked.
Yeah. But,
he blocked
Mario
Paris?
fan.
He actually blocked you?
Well, he blocked everyone. Yes.
The story that I heard was when Elon first came in with Twitter and was doing the blue check stuff, he just blocked everybody that had a blue check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I met him and nice guy. I'm like, and one day I look, I'm like, damn, why am I blocked? What I do? But anyways, again, I'm just using him as an example of taking a game like even Ground. Again, I keep with Obsidian. Would a Grounded get greenlit in today's climate is kind of the point that I'm making. Whereas, sure, it's a small team. Sure, you might have a quick turnaround on getting it out, but you're doing something that's so out of the box. That's too risky now. Sure, we want quicker development times. We don't necessarily have to have it be AAA, but it needs to be something that it needs to be a tried and true formula. Let's put it that way of a game. That's what I think short term we're going to see, not just Xbox. I think we're just going to see that industry wide right now, where you're not going to see, unless it's an independent studio that is just like, F it, we're going to try this very risky thing because, indie is where the most risk does happen. I don't think with the big publishers, you're going to see a lot of risk, no matter the size of the game, especially AAA, but even AA size games.
So we have Mr. Lilly with us. We have last couple of Microsoft stories. So I'll go through these quickly. One, I categorize it in the water is wet category. It is now news that Call of Duty will be coming to Game Pass. They said it.
I don't know why
many times, but for some reason this week it seemed everybody and their mother went, "Really?
Can I Please. Just give my thoughts because I do have to go in a second. And I'll just run this real quick. So to your point about Call of Duty, of course, I'm not surprised by it, but I think it's become a thing again due to rumor and speculation from various inside sources saying that it was being debated internally, despite Matt Booty in February telling you everything's going to be day one, despite Sarah Bond last week saying everything was going to be day one. I think this was an intentional leak to the Wall Street Journal to kind of put minds at ease that, yeah, it is coming day one. Whatever the math that they're going to do to figure this out, because we talked about this on Kind of Funny yesterday, whereas you got to realize the majority of the money for Call of Duty is coming through those battle passes anyways, right? The microtransactions. So I personally think, yeah, day one on Game Pass, you're going to be able to get the base game, play the campaign, do the multiplayer, probably, and I'll lead into this in my second part and I'll be quiet. I think Game Pass Ultimate tier, you will see some perks and incentives for like a Call of Duty battle pass. But I also think we're going to be introduced to a new tier of Game Pass because I do think the price of Ultimate is going to go up.
It's going up. Yep.
Day one to keep things day and date. I just think that's a reality of where we are. But I also think we're getting a new tier. If that new tier might be ad supported, that new tier might not have day and date for games coming from Xbox Game Studios. But they're going to have a cheaper tier that is being supplemented somehow. But I think Ultimate is going to go up.
Do you think this new tier replaces any of the old tiers? Because they got some weird tiers right now. Whereas you have core and then you have console, but console doesn't have online, but core does. What do you think happens like with that?
I'm so glad that you asked that question. So I think you have ultimate, price goes up. I think core at the bottom level stays exactly what it is. That middle one, I think everything that you're just talking about in the middle is going to change. You may still have a standalone PC Game Pass tier, but the price is probably going to go up on that too. But as far as console gamers and all this is where I think this new tier comes in and you mash it all together. Like I said, I really think we might see an ad supported tier that comes into this that replaces all of that. That because you don't want to overcomplicate it, because everything that you said starts to really overcomplicate it. I think you have an ultimate, you have whatever this new tier is, and then you have the baseline core, which is essentially Xbox Live Gold. That's what I think happens.
I'm gonna shoot a curveball here, and probably nobody's
absolutely.
Like
you talk too much about
me, Paris. I'm 5'3". All right.
I'm 5'3". No.
Wow.
Pipe down.
Go ahead,
so the EA thing is where I find it very interesting, and the skeptic side of me says internally they're looking at the contract with EA and they're thinking about renewing or not. And if they renew, all the things happen like we're saying it happens. If they don't, everything stays the same with Call of Duty added. And I think they look at it and they say, we have Call of Duty now. Whether this happens this year or next year, I don't know when. But they're like, people are associating Call of Duty with us. So we have a Game Pass push. What's more important, our own things and the price and how people perceive us, or having EA do the heavy work? And I think they look at it and they say, people are pissed at the price. We don't really want to do another tier. Drop EA and keep things the same and have Call of Duty inside. I think that's
what about Ubisoft Plus?
Ubisoft Plus to be added? Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because here I guess what I'm bringing up is if you drop EA, you now have lessened the value of Ultimate.
Well, but in his word, I think he's saying that you supplement it with Call of Duty, right? You now have
because what he's
what if I don't play Call of Duty and now you just took away an incentive for me to get Ultimate?
For me, that becomes a deal breaker because I could care less about Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I enjoy EA being there. I get your point.
Yeah,
yes.
I get it, but that's my skeptic side. I don't say it's a great, fantastic move, but I see them saying our catalog, like the Netflix thing, right? The Netflix thing of like not having Disney in there anymore is a big thing, right? But they are supplemented by their own push.
No, here's my thing. And again, this is all speculation. So hell, you could be 100% right. We don't know. But in my opinion, you can't take away and raise the price, because to what Keisante said, not but you're basing that off of Call of Duty alone. Not everybody cares about Call of Duty. So you took a key component away from me. That was why I was subscribing if you got rid of EA. So if you're not replacing that with something of equal value, in my opinion, then why the hell am I subscribing to Ultimate would be my point.
Would you leave if they took away EA?
Or you're asking me directly? My personal opinion, that would be a big factor in it. It was like, damn, because like as an example, they just did Jedi Survivor's in there right now, right? So what if I was waiting on Jedi Survivor to be a part of Game Pass? Now I don't have access to that. The Madden's coming there, stuff like that. There's EA titles that I coveted that because I knew I was an Ultimate subscriber, I didn't have to go by day one because I knew they were eventually going to show up there. So if you took that away from me, it would absolutely be a consideration, because again, I'm not the biggest Call of Duty person. I'll play it, but that is not a deciding factor for me to subscribe to Game Pass.
To be fair, Paris, though, ABK does have more than COD, right? They've got all the Diablos, and
do they
add Warcraft? You'll get on PC,
but think about it, Everborn. They have a lot of legacy IP, nothing that is beyond COD, right? And nothing that can be and Diablo, those two. Nothing that can add the amount of content. it is. So it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
For content to content like parody, like you won't buy Immortals of Avium, but when it shows up in Game Pass, you're like, hey, I'll give it a shot. All that goes away, and all they keep regurgitating is COD. To me, that would not be a value add.
Well, this is why I think they're having. This is why we're having this conversation. I think they're actually seriously thinking about this, because whatever you're taking away, let's say EA, we take it away. Whatever data they're looking at, okay, how many people actually play I don't know, NHL, because those are the big games. Let's not forget NHL and all these whatever games, sports games. How many people play it day one? How many people actually play it on the service? They add that, they look at that, they look at Call of Duty numbers, etc., etc. They're looking at it and they're like, man, if we truly needed to keep the price the same to not scare people out, all right, or whatever that is, they look at the numbers and they say, I think we can do this, because then if we drop EA, whatever, we talk to EA again and we say, give me Avium, I don't know, 2, we have a budget for it, give me that when that comes out, or they try to get the same kind of deals going, NHL 24 6 months later, give me that, you know, but we just don't have your entire catalog, and we replace that and supplement that with the new studio stuff that, you know, AAA studio got built internally there, building more games from Activision. Getting more games from Activision is a good thing. They can make your Banjo-Kazooies, right, and keep the price the same.
They won't,
so
but they could.
Replacing one mega corporation with another one. Well, I'm saying, I think that if that's the conversation, they're just swapping megacorps here in their service, and they're just being like, well, now everything we make, right? And that's the goal. And that was the goal with Netflix as well.
So here's what if Everborn's making this decision, who is not and should not be making these decisions, but here's what Everborn would do. I would simplify the offering. I'd say you've got Ultimate. I'd get rid of the console version or merge it with PC, right? Because that's what that price is. And then I would get rid of the requirement in core. I'd get rid of the requirement to pay to play online, because there weren't a lot of people paying for that anyway. If they were at 25 and now they're at 35, or maybe they lost some, but it's somewhere between 10 and 15 million people that were playing for the online stuff. I think you let that go and Game Pass Core becomes your ad-supported tier. I think you merge console and PC, and then you have Ultimate. So it's just Ultimate, console and PC, Core. Core's your ad-supported tier. And that's how you get in for cheaper.
It should always be 3.
The product
that's
line
it.
is simpler. But this is the problem with my theory, because I would say maybe, like, if they have to do this, I don't think they should get rid of day and date, but maybe day and date stays in Ultimate, and the console,
and it becomes PC 6 months for standard, and then Core just gets Legacy, you know, much later down. I don't disagree.
That's how I would simplify the line, so it's easy to sell. You got 3 tiers, and if you want day and date, you got to get Ultimate. If not, if you want the older games, or not older, but like if you want, like, okay, you got to wait 6 months, you got to wait 12 months. That is your unified Game Pass tier, which is console or PC, and then you got ad supported Core. So that's what I would do.
I guess
we can move on.
In other news,
I guess I'm finishing up. I guess my whole thing was that it's a long game. For me, I'm always thinking, I think 5 years and Xbox is going to be totally different. They're going to go through ups and downs. They're really looking like to shift people's minds. 5 years, Game Pass is going to be a gigantic monster, because simultaneous with COD, they're going to have new consoles. They're going to have games like Indiana Jones 3 or whatever, or 2 or 1, whatever it is. Elder Scrolls popping out in there, you know, to help out. I think at that point, they're seriously looking at themselves and being like, do we need other people's services in ours? Like, do we
kind of what Netflix did?
But that's what I'm saying.
They were taking their content away. They kept focusing on their own content.
Exactly. History repeats itself, and I think we forget that often. But I think that they look at that and they say, well, look, people are actually coming. They're staying. They're not really playing that much EA. we cut it, and they cut the deal.
Yeah.
But
so
just
in other
saying,
words, Stranger Things is what's keeping you here. We don't need the Disney series anymore. We can let
exactly.
I see where you're going with that. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but there is an interesting thought experiment there, and we as those of us who care about this stuff need to keep a closer eye, because I, for one, if you say, well, we got COD now, so we don't need that amuse-bouche that is EA Play, that's a red line for me, because I like the diversity in content, right? And I'm also a COD player, but I'm more of a COD console, a COD campaign player. I play it, I'm done, I move on. I enjoy the fact that EA brings diversity in its front lineup, even if it's not the sports games. Like I said, Immortals of Avium, I wasn't going to buy it because it wasn't really my bag, but now it's on the PC variant. I'm looking forward to playing that. I've been playing it all over the place. It's actually pretty good. The Star Wars game as well. You know what I mean? So, like, when you start like thinning the diversity, that's my red line. I don't care if you put it everywhere. You could put it on every console, wherever you want. I don't care. The minute my subscription now only offers me black hole games, I'm done. Right? It needs to give me that diversity in content.
So you want diversity, equity, and inclusion in your games library.
Hey, I see what you're doing there, sir. Stop the ridiculousness. In other news, Activision elsewhere. Where did this come from? 5 minutes ago, they laid a bunch of people off in closed studios, and then 5 minutes later, which, if you read the devil in the details, the studio has been around for a while, but now they're promoting it. It looks like they're focusing on their hashtag just one studio. Mr. Lilly, I don't know how much time we have with you, sir. Did you know this? And oh, by the way, before you leave, how is Hellblade 2?
And Banjo.
I'm not answering the second to last question. The last one, Banjo's phenomenal and always will be. I do have to go. But a couple things, because I have a personal, and I'm going to ask you on air. I'm going to ask you this so people know. Okay. But as far as the elsewhere thing goes, look, I get it, and I think you kind of alluded to this already. Activision's budget may be different than Bethesda's budget, so this is why this is happening. And actually, it sounds like this studio was being incubated a couple years ago, so it's just bad timing. Like, you almost wish they would have just rolled all this into one news thing. Hey, we're closing these studios over here, but we're opening this one, and we're doing it because blah, 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 and just take your lump all at once versus the other thing. So,
people obviously complained anyway, Paris.
Oh, no, but at least they complained once instead of twice. I guess is my point. But hey, I mean, we'll obviously see what the studio is going to be making and what they're going to, because what did they say? AAA narrative? What they said? Studio
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. And I'll let you guys continue that conversation about that. But before I do go, sir, so you are still coming out here to Los Angeles in 3 weeks.
I am indeed. Yes. I am indeed. I will be there with bells on.
So my question is twofold. Will you be at the YouTube theater for the whatever Keely's calling this now, the show, the Summer Game Fest?
I will be at Summer Game Fest, sir. 100%. Yes.
Yes. So you will be there at the YouTube theater.
I will be there. Yes.
That is where you and I will meet for the first time then, because that's when I plan on rolling up. So I'm looking forward to that. So now,
to it, yes.
So now my two-part question to end this is: are you going to be able to go to anything else Summer Game Fest related, and are you going to the Xbox showcase, the Fan Fest thing?
So, as I hear it, it has been different on the ground as it used to be.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, I know those who tell me there's more to it than just that. I'm going on small channel. I appreciate, salute to the 430 people watching. Small channel still, so that has not opened as many doors. But hey, I'm open to it. I will be there. I bought my ticket like everybody else. I will be there with bells on, and I'm hoping to get access to certain things. But so far, I'm just rolling.
So
with
you
the
want more doors open?
I'm hoping to open some doors,
Anyways.
man. Stop it, Gamsley. Stop being ridiculous. I will say, the IGN Live, I will be there. I have the 3-day pass for IGN Live. I will be at Summer Games Fest, and I also will be at the Giant Bomb Live as well. right? So I was able to secure those. As for the Xbox showcase, at some point, some of us were trying to get like what do you call it? Win the
right.
Some of us did. I think shout out to Hargeet. I think Hargeet probably won that. I did not. So
of course he did.
Of course he did. Yes, yeah, of course he did. And he's in the chat. What's going on, sir? So maybe the rest of us will lick our wounds with a drink elsewhere. I don't know. We shall see. But I'm committed. I said I was going to do it, and I'm doing it. Even if I just show up as a fan and I'm left out in the cold, which would be sad. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bummer. I mean, it's just from the beginning, because I don't know nothing. I just know what some people have whispered in my ear. I do know the location that it's at this year compared to where it's been the past couple of years is about half the capacity of what it's been. So I do know it is going to be a smaller event. Unfortunately, with my schedule, I probably won't be at IGN Live at all. I was hoping to be there when Ryan was interviewing Phil, but my schedule is it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he says. But yeah, my schedule is chaos.
Soul Tech, brother, hit me up in the DM, sir. I will gladly be your +1. If there are some of those. Who knows? If you want and you want to have me as your +1, sir, I will be there with bells on. I will appreciate it. Holla at you, boy. I'm in the DMs. Let's go. That'd be
and for people that's in the chat or whatever, I mean, like I said, I ain't trying to break no embargoes or anything, but my schedule after the showcase, I might be able. I don't know what this fan fest is going to be. I might be able to check it out briefly and run down and say hello. But I know I got a ton of stuff scheduled, and it's like that whole Sunday afternoon is just super busy for me. But I can say, because you said you're going to be there, I am going to be at Giant Bomb Live. Grub hit me up, and I'm actually going to be on stage as a part of that show. So I'll be there live for that. So I'm looking forward to that. I know the group of people I'm with is going to be fun. I think they're going to make like an official announcement soon or whatever. So
nice. I'm there to grow, learn, press the flesh, meet the people. Meet the people that have been chatting here for years. And whatever happens. And I hope this is a thing we can start doing more of on a yearly basis. Mr. Everborn Saga, he's still kind of on the fence. I need you to come with me, sir.
You got next year.
Yeah, you got to go.
Definitely.
Oh, he's not.
You definitely got to go. And like I said, I don't like it's weird where Xbox moved their thing. They're not in downtown LA at LA Live anymore. So I'm assuming the JW is still going to be the spot where everybody meets up. But I have no idea what Xbox is doing. So I don't know if they're going to be closer to where that location is.
Fonzarelli Gaming. Can't wait to meet you, Fonz. That'd be awesome too, man. I can't. This is the point. I'm there for that.
If you see the BioWave people, get that controller for me. I need that controller, baby.
I will share with them this here video if and when I see the BioWave people. Absolutely.
But absolutely Friday at the YouTube thing, we definitely got to meet up and hang out. I'll be around Friday night doing some stuff, but then I'm going to go home and then I'm going to come back Saturday morning to go to Summer Game Fest stuff. And then Saturday night's freaking crazy. And then obviously Sunday is crazy with the showcase and all that. And I'll be around. Are you going to be around Monday?
Monday, unfortunately, is when I have to bounce. Okay. My real work takes over. I think I'll be on a plane like early in the morning. I'll be
okay. Yeah, because I'll be around Monday, like Ubisoft Forward, and there's some Summer Game Fest appointments I got on Monday too. So, but yeah, we'll for sure link up on Friday, and hopefully, Saturday, Sunday, somehow, some way, we'll meet up and have a drink or something.
Sir, I am looking forward to it. I can't wait to meet all the people. I'm serious. If you in the chat and you got a +1 and you want to holler at your boy, I am here. Check out the DMs. I'll pay you for it if you want me to. It's good. I want to be part of I want to be in the Summer Game Fest. Unfortunately, as the logistics on the ground, it may not work out, but hey, I'm there for it. So holla at me, let me know.
And I will say one last thing as I leave to answer your other question. Yeah, I am playing Hellblade 2. No, I will not tell you anything about it.
Damn it.
Those impressions will be on May 21st at 1 a.m. Pacific. And I will say this because I will just say a certain person shared with me the little tweet I put out yesterday. It was like, hey, I have some thoughts. That's all I said. That's not leading anywhere. And I know that made some people upset, but it's a tease. That's all. It's a tease. So
People just mad that they didn't get them codes, man. A lot of codes floating around. Some of them are mad that they didn't get the codes. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on it, sir. I hear it is something for the books.
I hear things too. Yeah, I hear a lot of things too. So it'll be interesting. And before I get myself in trouble, I am leaving. So good to talk to y'all, and we'll talk again soon.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. The one, Paris Lily. Thank you so much for being here. Deadly Headley with a £2 super chat saying, "Happy Saturday, gentlemen. Much love." Happy Saturday to you, sir. We appreciate you being here. We have your co-host on here, rolling with the punches, being as slanderous as you expect him to be. Gamsley, sir, thank you.
I'm glad. I'm glad I beat Paris over the head.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do it. And salute to the
I can't reach his head.
35 people. Oh, stop that. Salute to the 435 people in here that are continuing to rock with us. We're at the bottom of the episode, I would say, but I have one more really interesting story that I kind of want to talk to people about. Everborn Saga, sir, I didn't hear your take. Elsewhere, Activision coming at you live. All of a sudden, new studio. Does this move the needle for you? Or you are like, this makes up for Tango?
Alleged AAA studios get open every day, B.
Oh, there he goes. He dropped the beat.
When they got an announcement, when they got a trailer. But I will say, I feel like they should have called this studio Cognito.
Yes, sir. The Cognito studio.
This is the Cognito studio. But yes, but let's also be clear. Like, Activision does know how to ship a AAA game.
They do.
And so if this is just narrative driven, I have high hopes for it, and I don't. I think I think that they'll be well cared for to get this thing over the line. Also notice it is in Warsaw. They're located.
Yes, they're going for that Witcher development energy. They're trying to steal as many Witcher developers as they can. Cyberpunk energy,
it's cheaper to develop over there, but
absolutely, yes.
I think it's interesting. I'm just not like excited about it because, I mean, other than like people thought like Microsoft was going to close down their gaming business because they couldn't keep the lights on, and now you see another AAA studio. That's hilarious, but we're legitimately probably not going to see anything from them for 3 to 5 years. And so if that's the case, who knows what'll happen? Like a meteor could hit the earth by then. Like I'm not,
man.
I'm just not excited until they have something to show. And hopefully they'll show something that is at like, by the time they do show it, and and they're still around in 5 years. Hopefully it'll be that like wow moment, like when Amy Hennig showed off the Captain America Black Panther game, which also didn't have gameplay, but I'm just saying
the Star Wars
genre defining. So I think this could be big, but it's nothing to worry about right now, just because
so
wake me when it starts.
So we will continue on because I want to talk about that last story. But Fonz Gaming, salute to Fonz Gaming in the chat. It'll be good to see you, sir. He puts out he put some interesting thoughts that I want to ask about the community, and I put a poll in the chat just now. Simple. Hellblade 2. I gave some ranges: 80s to 85, 85 to 90s, or 90s to 95 plus. Where do you fall? Where do we think this game will fall? And when I say that, you can say meta, you can say open critic. It doesn't matter. Where do you think the critical reception will fall before this whole thing starts? There's no wrong answer.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead, everyone.
Okay. Yeah. I think it has the potential of going to a 90 if people maybe
low
if they come to PlayStation, low 90, but I'm saying 90 even. But I expect it to land somewhere between 87 and 89.
Now Hargeet is in the chat. Hargeet, and shout out to you, good sir. I'm actually still reading his book. Hargeet, put that book in the chat, sir. Let people know you have some wares to peddle. I'm actually enjoying it.
Says high 70s, low 80s.
Yes, and the reason why I say
that's going to be from people who didn't play the first game. Yes.
No. Actually, it is because he played the first one, and I know this. He and I have had this conversation that I think he's thinking that because people have this, and you know this, Everborn, you played this recently. People have this thought that this is a 4-quadrant game that's like this power fantasy game that people will love. Graphically, it looks like it's next level, but as a subject matter, as a 4-quadrant game, if you will, a God of War like where you're a power fantasy all over the place, people are gonna be woefully misled if they think that that's what they're gonna get. And I think Hargeet said that in the first one. He didn't really. It's an intense experience, whether you like it or you don't like it. I think the consensus is it's an intense experience that's not like replay value, great. Oh my God, this is awesome. It's kind of scary and uncomfortable as it should be. And that may not translate to big, huge numbers. Now, Everborn,
Lucius Augustus wants 2 numbers from us. He wants the pre and post tax numbers.
So pre-tax, I got tax numbers. I'm gonna go with. I think this is gonna be a hit. So I'll get the tax numbers will be 85. And the critical number will be 91 exactly on the dot.
Ooh, he's being specific. All right, Everborn.
I think I don't know if I want to be that specific.
Hey man, put it out there. Let's go.
Let's go, bud.
I think
I'm 5'3".
So my specific pre-tax, I think the floor is an 87, 88.
Okay, that's a great number.
But post-tax, I think we're looking at like 82.
Okay.
But I usually use a 5-point standard deviation, so I guess 82 to 87 works.
But see that 5-point deviation kind of ruins the things because 5-point in either direction means a lot. Like it means a lot.
But it is like that's how I go by. I've agreed with almost every Metacritic if I add or subtracted 5 points.
But that moves mountains. That 5 points.
But it shouldn't. Really It shouldn't though, because we're not dealing in ones and zeros, and we think anything that doesn't score 90 is mid, which is not true.
Which is not true.
That's true. And then anything that scores a 90 and above is a perfect 10, which is also not true. So, you know, I think that checks out. That's my opinion though. 87, 88 with no tax. 80 to 82 with the tax.
So okay, I say
the first one 81.
So 81 and 91. You've got a 10-point spread between tax and no tax.
I got a 10 points. Yeah, I got 10.
Okay.
Pre-tax, I say 86, 85, 86. Pre-tax, right? Post-tax. 87. No, actually, no. It would be lower. I'm going backwards. So I'd say 87 or so pre-tax, post-tax 85, 84. So like the tax will drop it a little bit, but by and large, I think it's still in the upper echelons of 80.
Let me ask you guys a question. By the way, I should know I played the first game recently, a couple of weeks
days ago.
I would, if I was rating that, I would give that an 8.0.
Okay, so 80.
I'm assuming or hoping that this will be better.
Well, but you also
only graphically better.
But you also, Everborn, like content that challenges you. You like content that's not necessarily make me feel good, power fantasy. You like content that challenges you. By and large, you're a horror movie watcher.
I like things that are different.
That's right. Whereas this is being marketed as God of War for Xbox,
but it's not being marketed as that.
But it's not.
All. And
but in the minds of the people,
that's a problem. And that's why I feel like it's gonna lose points because people.
Yes, this is my point.
Did not pay either. They didn't play the first one or didn't pay attention to it. They want it to be God of War. It is not that. They never pretended it was that. And when it is not the thing that they pretended it was,
they will ding it for it.
It would be they will ding it for that, and I don't think that's fair. I think you have to judge the game for what it is.
Yeah.
Although a quick aside, and I'll let you speak, Gamsley. Because the door has now opened to eventually it'll come to PlayStation, that might lessen the tax rate a little bit, right? Because they now know, hey, it could come to the home team soon, so then that might quell the storm a bit. If it wasn't that way, it'd be like, yo, this game says 7. Why? Because the controller sucks. You know.
Wait a minute. Gamsley. So Fawn said something that's interesting. Can you highlight that comment?
Let's see. He says maybe some of us don't like walking a lot and doing puzzles. Yeah.
So I want to know, and I know he's being a little bit sarcastic, but truthful as well. But the thing is this,
which he completes to say, which Hellblade 2 has a lot of as well.
I'm sure that it does. But
because Hellblade 1 did.
Like, some of us don't like strategy games, right? I'm not gonna go out and play Civ 2 expecting it to be a top-down action RPG and then saying, well, it's not a top-down action RPG, so I don't like it, right? You have to judge it for what it is. And if you're playing Hellblade 1, then you should know what Hellblade 2 is, in my opinion. But I haven't played it yet, so you can't really take anything I'm saying. I might just fully agree that there's just entirely too much walking in puzzles. But we'll see. I'm just making like a more general statement.
So, okay, hold on. This has just happened. So it doesn't say the full name. So I will find you in the DMs and I will throw my flowers at you later. I'm literally getting an email saying I have been invited to the Xbox Game Fest because somebody has added me as their +1. Mo, if you hear me, sir, thank you. Oh my God, that's amazing.
You got chose. Nice.
I got chosen, just like right now, That's amazing, bro. I don't know who did that, Mo. Probably somebody in our chat, sir. I'm at a loss for words. A man who likes to talk can't speak. Right? Thank you. I will reach out. We'll find out who exactly did this. It's asking me to RSVP. That's awesome. Thank you. That is awesome. I really, really appreciate it. Wow. Okay. Make a black man blush. Go ahead. Yes.
You better be wearing the GCP shirts when you get there.
Oh, you're damn right, sir. That's what's going down. You know what it is. You know. But thank you. That's so cool. That is so cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I agree with Hargeet and Fonz by and large. And I won't say walking sim or anything like that in general, but just the idea that some games are for that broader appeal, that broader audience. We've been talking about it all day, where they're shaving corners to make sure everybody loves it and everybody plays it and all this. This is not that, right? This was made by 80 people. It's more money infused into their project that they've wanted more people to see. This is by and large. Thank you so much. This was Soltech. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I will reach out. He's a great member of our Discord. Thank you, sir. Man, that's amazing. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. So, I really do think that this will be a critical darling. It'll be a great success. Most people will love it. But I think the normals may kind of shun it a little bit because it's not what we think of as that God of War massive, you know what I mean? So we shall see where the numbers fall, right? I don't know.
You know what? The thing that really stood out to me when Hellblade 2 came out was that giant baby attack in the cave.
Ogre baby guy, yes.
And in the trailers, there's another one, that little teaser where she's just looking up in the sky, and then 3 seconds later, she's running and the lava's coming out of the ground. I think they added spectacle to this that in the first one, they really couldn't flex their muscles. And I think that's the differentiator here. And I think they love this child. I think they love this game. I think that's going to show through in this specific case. And we don't matter because we're not the ones reviewing it. These sites usually spin to that area of the well. They're really pushing narrative-driven games in this type of style. Alan Wake, etc., etc. The gaming industry wants to be movies, and they're going to push that. They're going to push it here. and this is not immune to that. And I have faith in it. I have faith in it. I'm not skeptical.
I agree.
I think they're going to blow it out of the water, and I think that it's going to be so good that reviewers can't add any tax to it, and that's how good it's going to be.
I do want to say something
what it is.
before this happens, because I think it is really basic bitch energy.
Ooh,
think
okay.
That if a game scores in the 80s, it's a disappointment. If this thing is in the 80s, that is a good thing, and we need to stop pretending otherwise. Because all these other games that people praised as game of generations and favorite
like Ghost.
things. Do you know
Ghost
scored an 83? Everybody loves that.
Yeah, 82.
They'll shut up about
You
Ghost.
slander. Calm down.
Somehow now a game gets an 83, and it's the end of the world. So what we're not gonna do in today's episode of What We're Not Gonna Do is pretend that if on Tuesday Hellblade scores somewhere in the 80s, that's some kind of a failure. I'm just putting that out there for posterity.
100%.
I'm not the one.
I'm with you, but
miss me with the BS.
Oh no, I'm with you 100%. To be clear, I think it's going to be a step up in every single way. It's going to be a masterful piece of art that the team wants to put out there. I think that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be immune to whatever bullshit tax that we're talking about. Oh, sorry, tax that we're talking about here.
We after 12 o'clock. You can let it slip. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So that's all I'm saying. I think it's going to be way more impressive than I think we're gonna give it.
Graphically, I hear the graphic whores among us, aka me, are gonna lose their damn minds because it sets a standard. I hear. So
I bet everybody with a Series
that little
X
scene,
that
little scene of
not
that
care
scene
about
of her
30
just
anymore.
running. Yeah, exactly. That scene where she's running it, like I said, and the fire and the lava pops beside her and all that stuff. I mean, this game just looks so impressive in any way, and even me, that I don't like, even I, a person that doesn't really care much about these style of games, I'm like, oh man, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see what this can do, and I think this is gonna push it, dude. It's gonna push it.
So, last story of the day. Shout out to the man, Jez Corden, wrote this article, kind of scathing. I'll be honest with you, kind of scathing, right? And he put it out there. He's talking about Microsoft and their turn and becoming super valuable in the environment, and with Windows and Surface and Xbox, and now they're kind of turning into the big corporation as we know them to be, and it's ruining. TLDR, ruining their future enterprises. Even Windows Phone is brought into the mix. Like, it's a very, very, very interesting read, and it's got a lot of scathing points.
I feel like Jez had this in the clip after
he had it in the tank, just
down.
like
no. But it was after he closed down Windows Phone. He was just waiting for his moment to get everybody on his side. And I'm like,
have you read this?
I respect it. I read the Windows Phone section specifically.
Yes.
But he talks about what long-term vision is and needing quick profits and these other things.
Now, what I think is interesting, and you can please expound on this, he is laying all of this at the feet of Satya, and now Amy wearing the Black Tim's hood.
Don't tell Sycamore.
Yeah, he's laying it all at their feet, saying, "Look, they had vision. It brought them to the promised land, and now all of a sudden that they're almost there. It looks like the money man or the money people have taken over control and are no longer listening to their subject matter experts," which I've kind of said in some kind of way. Do you agree with them? Because let's be clear, Satya brought them here, right? Before Satya, these guys were bit players. His way of working, his method, has gotten them to becoming even wealthier than say Apple, who has ruled the roost for a long time. So it looks like it got them there, but now it's not keeping them there. Now they're becoming, for lack of a better word, money hungry. What do you think?
I think it's too soon to say that, right? And I know exactly where Jez is coming from. And again, Nadella deserves all the smoke for Windows Phone, and then had the nerves to look us in the face and said he wished he didn't do it. What?
Yes.
So no,
I will
hear
say
your apology.
interesting point that Jez makes in this article, which it's a very good needle he threads. Like, you quit Windows Phone, giving the platform, you are now beholden to Apple and or Android for your future revenue in the mobile space. Same way, you're kind of you're showing overtures of quitting Xbox and giving would then future give way to Steam and or PlayStation to be the same thing as that duopoly that you've given Android and iPhone, right? That's kind of what he's threading.
I know, and I got that from skimming through the article. But the only thing that I'll say is what Nadella has. First of all, there's one other thing I want to say. I read someone saying that Nadella is giving them Steve Ballmer vibes right now.
Oh no! I don't agree with that.
Let me speak to this, because
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer is who gave you the 360. Steve Ballmer is who doubled down, and Steve Ballmer is the one who believed in competing the way we want them to compete and win it. Steve Ballmer empowered Peter Moore, right? So let's not throw dirt on Steve Ballmer's name, at least not as it relates to Xbox. So that's that thing. The second thing that I'll say is, in the moment, fog of war, yes, it feels that way, and it feels like they're cutting and running. But if you really, like, if we're being pragmatic about this, I bleed Windows Phone, right? I owe my career to the Windows Phone. It's how I taught myself how to code, was developing games for the Windows Phone, right? So no one can mistake me as someone who doesn't care about the Windows Phone. That being said, and while I agree they should not have closed the Windows Phone, they should have stuck it out. But what you cannot argue, and what is on Nadella's side, is by moving away from Ballmer's get the customers by force, and to Nadella's, we need to meet the customers where they are. That is the thing that made Microsoft cool again. That is the thing that took Microsoft to pass Apple. So he does have history and economics on his side when we say those things. And if Windows Phone was still around, if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, does it make a sound? Would it matter what you were doing on your own platform, or would your platform just still be there to beta test for when you put it on iOS and Android? Right? And so when you like, again, if they stuck it out, I'd still be there. But that's why these decisions get made. And so what we have to ask ourselves is, this open approach, I know what we're used to, and I don't like some of the things that it spells for the brand, because I lived through the Zune, I lived through the Microsoft Band, I lived through the Windows Phone, I lived through Groove Music, right? So we've lived through Mixer and things like that, right? Hell, I've lived through Skype. That terrible piece of software,
which is still kicking around, but in a very decrepit kind of way. Yes,
but Skype deserves to die, and I hope it burns in hell. But the thing is, I am only saying that this has to play out. And if we're saying, well, they're doing a multi-platform approach, and that's why we're blaming Nadella for cutting and running, Sony has a business update next week.
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying
there's some rumor and speculation, man. Ooh, boy.
I'm not saying they're going to put games on Xbox, but they do need to broaden their approach in terms of firing people. Everyone, I'm not excusing anybody. Everybody's firing people. This is a thing that is happening. This is a correction in the gaming industry. Less people are playing. Production costs are going up. They have to right the ship. And Microsoft, like it, love it, accept it, has acquired more than anyone else in this short period of time, and there is an integration period, and they do have to streamline things, and so some things are going to get messed up. I don't know that you buy Activision if you don't have a long-term vision. So that is why, and again, what's happening to the brand, sure, but it cannot be that we're saying like, hey, like I'm just saying I understand when they say we gave you $80 billion in 5 years or whatever, however much it is in whatever amount of time, right? We are gonna take a hit when Call of Duty goes into Game Pass, and we're honoring that promise, and you got to make some hard decisions to do that. And again, because Xbox has already embraced PC, there's really no place for them to grow in terms of new user acquisition that other than going on those consoles or attempting to take share from the other ones. That's what we want them to do, and we'll see if they do that. But Microsoft under Nadella has more of a honeypot approach, where we're gonna try to entice you to come here instead of force you to come here. And you know, I don't know. So I'm just saying, I understand the sentiment, and I feel a lot of that emotionally, but logically I get it, and I don't know that we can say that this is only for short-term gains. But that's the long and short of what I'm trying to say.
Gamsley, what do you think?
So corporate culture really does play out differently than, you know, other things. The only corporate culture that will probably get to the same crossroads that Microsoft and Sony want to get to, but a little bit steadier, is probably Nintendo, because they're just looking at things differently and their budgets are different and everything looks different there. They're a household name that has your balls in their hand from the moment you open your eyes in this goddamn world to 4 years old. They know that. They know that, you know, people growing up understand what Nintendo is, and et cetera, et cetera. Sony and Xbox, not so much, right? And we see it in the numbers. We've been seeing it for, I don't know, 10 years now. And so do they, as well as economic destruction, right? So these corporate companies, they're seeing that economic, you know, destruction, and they see a pendulum swinging in gaming that has swung and chopped up every other industry, including music and TV, the same goddamn way. We are the same consumers. Just saying. Yeah. They know our behavior. They understand the thing. To survive, whether Xbox bought Activision Blizzard or freaking not, Xbox was going to go through some weird, fascinating changes as we see them today. So, like Everborn was saying, miss me with the layoff stuff and the destruction of Xbox. If anything, they saw that they needed to be relevant, and they just aren't at the moment, or weren't. And to do that and to gain time and momentum, they needed something big. They got Activision Blizzard. That is large and big. They have mobile now from the balls. They got IP that are very well known at this moment. They don't care about logo box wars, just like 90% of us, right? They don't care about that. They care about, like Everborn said, enticing consumers to come to them wherever they are, and they don't care how you do it. So for all of you that are looking for logo wars and stuff like that, I feel sorry for you, but let's be honest, you're playing Xbox games. They know it, they see it, and that's what's happening. Also, to bring it back to they know that you're playing Xbox games because half of the people are still on old consoles in this economic destruction I was talking about. And users are on Game Pass right now, spending a ton of time, and they still have time with Call of Duty and all that stuff, like Everborn said, to entice people from a new generation to come into their Xbox ecosystem with Call of Duty on the box. That's their idea. They're going to feel it out for 2 years, and then God knows. But I'm telling you right now, you're good for those. You're good for the future, so don't worry about that. You're going to get games. The Zune thing, I'm actually curious because I never really actually spoke to people that have a Windows phone. Jez points it out a lot, and he uses it as like history and like, oh, this is, history repeating itself. Zune never had a foothold. Like, never. The phones didn't have a foothold.
It was a better device than the Apple variant, but it
talk about better device all you have. But what I'm trying to say is that they never had a foothold. They had anti-competitive people kicking their ass. YouTube and Android over here, Google with their tactics of leaving YouTube off the phone and doing all that crap. They were really anti-competitive against this phone.
We had to get people to make bootleg versions of YouTube and things like that.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say, though, right, is to that point, they were stacked up against, like, they were just getting their shit kicked out of it. It's not the same environment, though. It's not the same environment. The regulators are trying to open things up more. This is a strike Microsoft wants. And to be honest, all those doom and gloomers out there saying, well, this is going to be the Windows Phone. Windows Phone never had 60 million people that constantly feed them money all the time. They never did. It's like saying that they did have that in Windows Phone and said, yoinks, we have a triopoly, whatever the hell, but we're going to go
we're going to give it up. No, they never got the chance to get
it.
Like,
you know what it's like saying?
No.
You know what it's like saying? It's like saying they had iMessage, Google Maps, and YouTube, and then they left.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. It's like they had a foothold. It's like if they were freaking Google and just decided, Apple's too strong, fuck it. And it's just like, what? No, not at all. They have a store. They have 25 active million users on their freaking Xbox Series S consoles alone, somewhere floating around constantly, playing games. They have 30 million on Xbox Ones, somewhere around that. I'm throwing out numbers, but it's something around half the console life people playing still. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not the same Apple
at all. And if Satya, which is the smart person, is saying, yo, looking back at the Windows Phone and all the examples Jez put out there and said, we wish the phone was still here. Yeah, that's him remembering history. And like, why would we pull Xbox away out of thin air, kill them, smite them down when we just spent $75 billion in getting YouTube, let's say?
Yep.
You think if you think Microsoft would be like, you know what, we're gonna buy, I don't know, Google and get YouTube and Maps and all that, and then say fuck it and submit to Apple. Like, that's what that's saying. And it's not gonna happen, guys. So you can calm the fuck down and just play games on Game Pass.
Yes.
And or your PlayStation, bud. Go play it on PlayStation. I don't give a shit.
Let me ask you a question.
I just want games. Yeah.
Before they were acquired by Microsoft, what position did Activision Blizzard hold in the market? Activision Blizzard King, as a publisher.
What percentage?
Yeah. What? Not like what were they the biggest? Were they the second biggest?
They were like sixth or something.
Okay. So now imagine if Activision
or fifth.
You add everything that Bethesda has to that. Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield. And then you add Halo, Gears, Forza, Starfield, and Minecraft.
Yep.
They are now, barring Tencent, the biggest, baddest publisher around with the most relevant IPs. And we are talking about them as though they're a fly-by-night company that just might not be here.
This is why what you're describing there, Everborn, is why every time they're going the way of Sega. I'm like, do you remember what happened?
Dude, Sega
was on their knees.
I love that. Yo, hold the fort down for a freaking second. All these comparisons. That's why I'm getting angry. Like, for instance, the Windows Phone and Jez talking about this specific stuff he's comparing. And then people talking about Sega in the same way. It's like, guys, okay. Sega, it's like saying if Sega had Bethesda and freaking bought Activision Blizzard that could literally turn a profit for them and then saying bounce and go third party. It's incredibly not what it's not what happened to Sega. Sega got suffocated by themselves.
That's right.
And the people around them. Help. And that's not and they were a company that's not even that dwarfs like is so small comparatively to the company that we're talking about that they couldn't eat things, right? They just had to go. And that's not what's happening here. The only thing that's happening here is them showing up and saying, okay, how's the profit? Not good? Okay, put I don't know, you better be better next time. You know, that's what's happening here. Or cutting people's heads off, which happens everywhere. But that's all. But anyways, yes, go ahead.
End, right? And we could move on or whatever. But like,
yes.
Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Playground, Obsidian, Compulsion, all these guys in exile. I think I said in exile, but they were purchased in 2018. And we're just getting their games, starting to get their games with Hellblade this week, right? And I know Psychonauts came out, but that was something that was already in development.
It was a different conversation.
But in terms of games that were greenlit under Xbox, these things take time to integrate. Bethesda is not fully integrated yet. They said the hard work starts after the acquisition closes, and that's true. So is it possible? And again, obviously, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but obviously, you know, we care that, you know, people lost their jobs or whatever. But is it not possible that this is a part of the streamlining process, that this is a part of the integration process?
Pendulum correction.
Messy, right? And so you have to streamline these things so that the whole business makes sense and you can move forward. And because they have to make those decisions does not mean that they don't care about anything anymore. And I just think that is like this of the moment thinking that of this moment has to dictate how things will always be forever and always. And I don't think that makes a lot of sense, at least to me. And I hear my mic is very low. Is that true?
A little lower. You can put the gain up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm standing up, so maybe I'm too far.
We don't know that.
But anyway,
we don't know that. There's no proof of that. Calm down.
Well, I could turn the camera on and it'll pick me up.
And it'll drop you.
But I just say that to say, like, these, I think we knew that like there would be integration and painful and clunky integration. I just don't think like when it happens, we were never going to be like okay with it. And I think this is what we're seeing from the whole community response. And
although
it is no simple thing to integrate a $70 billion company.
Indeed. So we're kind of dispelling some of the notions here, and we you know where the context
also,
matters.
Jez knows all of this, and he said a lot of what I'm saying. He's still giving them the smoke, which they deserve.
He's giving the smoke.
This is not about Jez being wrong.
That's my point. That's right. I think this is still a very valuable read. People need to pay attention because although the grounds, the logistics on the ground are completely different now, 100%. But a lot of the inferences and a lot of the needles that he's threading is very interesting to think about, right? And if you are a person that cares about the IP writ large, the Xbox brand and all of that, the moves you see here are concerning. They definitely are concerning, right? So I think we'll leave it there, and I think that there's a conversation to be had about seeing where they go as far as their vision be brought to fruition and how it changes midstream, right? We want to see the end results, right? And next time we're on this show, we're probably going to be talking about what we think will happen from the game showcase perspective, what we expect to see, because that will be very telling in moving forward as to the health of their business and the health of the companies and the health of these studios.
I'm not worried about the health of their business.
No.
Hey, man.
No. 5 years, they're on top, bud. I clip it out. 5 years, these people are gonna be flying.
Now the question, the question, and I don't disagree with that at all.
In 5 years, they'll be crying Monopoly again.
Exactly.
My question is, will the people in our chat will still be clutching to their game consoles the way they have been now? Will they still be like, oh, you need to buy my games on my console?
Evolve to the console experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
And the gaslighting continues. The gaslighting continues.
By the way, just one last thing on this article. Shout out to Jez. He's a great writer. I didn't want to. I'm not spelling anything. I think his comparisons are a little awkward at times. But like Keosante said, the needle he tries to thread is effective. Go read it. It's a great article. The man knows how to write, and he's very genuine. And I know we give him a lot of hate for being emotional sometimes because he is. He admits it. But he's a great dude, and I like that outwardness of him. So go support his stuff. Go read his articles.
Absolutely. No, you get no argument from me on that one. Absolutely. And he's been on the show. We should have him back. It's been a minute. But I think we leave it there. Before we even do that though, let me close out this poll. And by and large, it looks like the community, at least the community here, with 427 people still watching. Salute to everybody who's still here. I think the by and large, the consensus is that Hellblade 2 will fall somewhere between the 85 to 90 range. So right about there, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's 95 plus and they get all the flowers they deserve, because it looks like they're really putting some effort into this. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. I for one, am super excited to play it when we finally get our little grubby hands on it. We get to try it out. But yeah, on that note, sir, I think we're done here. Gamsley, it has been awesome having you here. You stuck it out with us. As we do with the newbies, we throw you in the deep end of the pool. What is it? 3 hours and some odd, almost 4 hour podcast. My legs are turning.
I love every minute, man. I love every minute. I love solo podcasting for about 4 minutes. It was all good.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. It's been awesome to chat with you, sir. Let the people know where they can keep up with your stuff. Tell them about Gaming Arcadia and why they should be following the channel and keeping up with your ongoings.
Yeah, so we do host an Xbox podcast focused a podcast focused on Xbox. We do love the platform. It's the Xbox Series podcast with Game on Asa and Deadly Headley and myself, where we talk everything Xbox in a very fun, non-toxic way. We don't, bring other things in there just to slander it. We do try to be focused and informative and talk fun. And
some slander is good, okay? Some slander is good.
Oh yeah, that's I throw. Look at me, man. I definitely throw some slugs, but it's all good. It's a fun time. So go check that out every Thursday. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do make appearances on Boom's show on Double Barreled Gaming, lunchtime with Boom, so 12 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. That's where I get a little bit more juicy, but I do stay balanced.
Wow. Okay. Pause. All right. Yes.
I do. And there's something else. Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. If I'm on something like this show right here, Gaming Circle Podcast or Gamsley Circle Podcast, I'll say it there. So Gamsley TKD. You could follow me at Gamsley TKD on X/Twitter if you want to, for all that information and what I'm doing. Thank you.
And thank you for being here. I will put Gamsley's stuff. I'll put the Gaming Arcadia, the YouTube channel in the chat right now. I will also post once this show posts and I get the timestamps in. I'll make sure I make reference to those as well. So if you happen to catch this later, please go ahead and check them out. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe to their stuff, because it is important that we show support to our community and our content creators who spend all this time and effort and energy giving you this great, amazing entertainment.
With one last note, guys, Gaming Arcadia. More than just Xbox stuff. We got a roundtable discussion on everything. Not me, but it's another panel where you talk all games, and also tons of review. Asa is awesome at reviews. He's awesome at speaking. Go listen to that man speak. He's good at what he does. So it's not just an Xbox Series podcast. Thank you. True. Yes, absolutely. I really appreciate that he has put together a pretty good channel with lots of different opinions and different views and different kind of content in the gaming space in general. He's my brother in VR arms, so you'll never hear a bad word from me on
on Asa, and I miss Game On Daily. I'll put that out there. Maybe it's time to get.
You don't have to mention that. Yeah.
I miss them, man.
Dance on the Grave.
That was my dose of slander for the weekend, man. I love that show. Anyway, Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, I know you at the beginning of the show you were talking about finishing up, putting the finishing touches to the Kickstarter. Are we going to hear some more news and or stuff about that soon? Or how about your game?
I'm trying to get like the sign up page going. This doesn't mean you're supporting it. It means you're watching it for when we go live. I don't have a go live date.
It's the equivalent of a watch list, wish list. Yes.
I am. I'm trying to line up a bunch of shows that I can do on. So for 30 days straight, I'm going to try to do a podcast every day.
Damn,
kind of let the community know about what we're trying to do. And so when I get that lined up, then we'll figure out when we're going to go live. But the sign up page is coming hopefully this week. There's certain information you got to give them before you have it ready. And plus I'm waiting on the cover to come in to see some of the imagery that we're going to show. But we're very far along in a very good place. So stay tuned.
Excellent. Now, before we go, I will also say, and this is a cheap plug for something new and interesting. I think I'm going to start putting maybe a little bit of energy into, because there's not enough time in the day, and I'm always adding more crap to my plate. But how about you join the Steam group? Yes, that's right. I said it. The Steam group. I just started that like a week ago, which is the GCP and the GPG group, which is the Gaming Circle podcast and the Gamers Playground.
Invite me? What the hell?
Oh, I've been doing this on my own.
I know nothing about this.
He only invites people that like Ghost of Tsushima. That's all.
No one's invited.
You have to like Ghost of Tsushima, and you have to not fall asleep on Horizon Forbidden Sleep, and you got a PC game at your desk. These are the requirements to get in the group, people.
One of our community members found it and wanted to be a follower, and they are following it now. But you can jump in there, and of course, obviously, Everborn, we're gonna get you in there. My aim with this is we talk so much indie stuff. We talk about all the cool, interesting indie games we want to be a part of, right? And this way, you can get a nice curated list of what we would love to play, right? So as you can tell, I've done some light reviews. I wanted to, when I presented this, I wanted to have some meat on the bones before I let people jump in. I didn't want to.
I want to get in so I can give my Ghost of Tsushima review.
Absolutely, bro. I will make you guys all. I'll make you mods and all of this.
Good.
Jump in there. He says, jump in there. If you're looking for it's the GCP and GPG group, and they'll have a created list. Jump in. If you're new to the PC, what is it? The console gaming experience or whatever crap he says.
See, you don't even say it right. Say the name right. It is console PC. Experience PC. Gamer.
The PC group.
Console, that doesn't flow at all, right?
At all.
CGG.
At all.
Chegg.
At all.
Keg, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Keg. If you're new to Keg, it's like the PlayStation pisser. If you're new to the pisser, no, I'm stopping. I'm gonna stop.
Sounds like a college party.
That's right. If you're new to the Steam Waters,
unlike PC gaming. Well, PC desk gaming, I should say. Mouse and keyboard.
If you're new and you need like a nice list of cool indies that you think might be interesting, we've talked about many of these on our show. We're gonna start putting them in here. You see your Zao in there. You see your Cookie Cutter in there. All these games that we've talked about on this show. I'll start putting together this list. So if you ever want to know, hey, what games do the GCP guys play and swear by, indie and otherwise, we'll start building that list here. So come check it out. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. You can catch me, much like Gamsley said, on Double Barrel Gaming's channel on Wednesday. I will be there with Boomstick and friends talking more games and stuff. But yeah, I think we're almost done with almost. I think we're done with this thing. Go check out some more gaming fare. Let folks know we sent you. We appreciate y'all for being here. My legs are turned to jelly, so I'm done. And I will say, have a good day. Until next week. Peace.
Thanks for being on it.